All right, ready? One, two. Hello and welcome to episode 26 of Nerds and Words. I'll be your host once again today, Tim Allen1337. And today we are joined with a little bit different of a cast, as fans of the show and those who watched last week may have noticed that Potion Shop made some racially charged comments about Port Rat. And we have decided that we need to take a break, a little bit of space from him, from those comments, because we did not agree with them.
Yeah,
So
we do not condone any of his views on the good people of Port Rat.
I think it's a very eclectic area. I think lots of classes can look very different, tall, short. Their eye shapes can be whatever they want to be, and I don't think that means that you necessarily have to be from a part of a map. But we're gonna let Potion Shop cool off and really think about his comments this week. So, as popularly requested, he has been replaced. Oh my god, he's gonna hate me. Just for this week, So Frosty, thanks for joining us again, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me again.
We need somebody who plays this game to read the patch notes for us, so we figured who better than you.
Yeah, and also because of the tag
Welcome back.
system, I've been trying out Sork, so I think Potion's right about everything. This class is weak, dude.
Oh, fuck.
I'm
Getting right into it.
channeling my inner Potion shot. This class is...
Well, hold on.
One of the
On a
weakest.
serious note, Potion Shop's PC just blew up. He's not banned. We're not mad at him. He didn't make any real bad comments or anything like that. It's all a meme. That's why we were laughing. So one of his computers blew up or something. So I don't know. He's Potion Shop. He'll be back next week. I'm sure of that. But yeah. So you rolled Sork?
All right, so this tag system has been the worst thing that's ever happened to me, honestly.
Okay.
So on Wednesday, I had it set out. I'm gonna roll Mystic because it's a good chill grind class, and I used to play it, and it has skill points and weight and everything. And I was like, this will be fun. It lasted about a day. Then I was like, I've been dying to try Tamer for a long time, so I tagged Tamer. That lasted about 2 hours. I was like, you know what, Sork is a safe choice. I played Sork for a long time. I have weight, inventory, skill points. I'm just gonna go to Sork. It's really good at grinding, fun in PvP. So I tagged the Sork, and now I'm really, really, really wanting to try Ninja.
How much money have you spent?
I'm down 7 bill, so it's not good. The first tag only cost me 2.3 bill, but then I got C14 in my offhand, so the second and third tag cost me about 2.6 each.
C14 and your pin offhand?
Yeah, and my Kudum C14 now.
Would it have been cheaper to just get like a tech Kudum off the market for that class just to try it out? Or do you gotta have everything maxed out to see if you like the class?
You know, once you become gear carried, you don't want to let that go. You know,
You
live
know,
off that. I thrive off the gear carriedness.
I did want to invite somebody to the podcast to give their expert opinion on class rerolling and stuff, but you may be a little overqualified on the whole BDO thing.
It is rough. But now I have some insight on the class. Tamer is not bad at grinding. Don't let people lie to you. It's actually pretty good. It just takes a little bit of work.
So just to clarify, Sorks are underpowered and Tamers are very good.
Tamers are very good. Actually, Sorks are very strong. It's insane. Sork is so much fun in RBF with the bond skills, and not being CC'd out of Grim Reaper's Judgment is actually insane.
Is that the one where they use their scythe?
Yeah, it's where they charge and do a big old slash in front of them, and now it's a super armor knockdown for the entire ability.
Oh.
It's only a 10-second cooldown, so it's pretty good.
I've been seeing a lot of Sorks do that thing where they like knock you down twice, and then they just stand on top of you with their arm out casting.
Yeah, Karsten's Nightmare. That skill is insane as well. It does so much damage now. Yeah, these are all powerful skills now. Sork is definitely very, very strong.
What kind of numbers were you pulling on that Tamer?
So I did a couple hours in Secrea and an hour at Stars End. So at Stars End, I was able to get 4.7 in an hour, which is, if you think about
what rotation,
how little on main, if you think about how little I know how to pull on Tamer and do its skill rotation, 4.7 in my first hour at Stars End is actually insane to me. It's like That's not easy to get your first time. And then in Secret, I was able to get 4.8 my first hour and 4.85 my second on main rotation.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Granted,
good.
I have a lot of gear, but it's about the same as what I was getting on my Kuno that I've been practicing grinding for 2 years.
So who's been spreading this myth about Tamer being underpowered? Do you think they're trying to get it buffed?
Her.
Well, it was underpowered for so long, but they've gotten a lot of PvE buffs in the last 3 months, like a lot of them. So, and they got a sneaky PvE buff a week ago when our rebombs got changed, or 2 weeks ago when we got the random like rebomb changes. Um, their skill called, oh, I'm gonna forget the skill, but the Shift Z skill, rebomb is got a boost in damage in PvE and also is faster animation now, and it's a really low cooldown. So I don't know. They're pretty good in PvE. They have a lot of low cooldown, high damage abilities you can spam. So their AoE size is bad. That's all.
So
Yeah, I was never really sure about Tamer. I would always tell people to kind of avoid Musa right now because of the state that it was in, but everyone would throw Tamer into that, and I was like, well, I just don't ever see any Tamers, so I don't really can't say one way or the other.
Yeah, it's a hard class too. I think it's hard to get used to. It's super different than any other class.
the iframes look
Weird.
really chunky on Tamer.
Yeah, they have like the whole you're in iframe and unless your feet are touching the ground thing is like
Is that what
a
it
love
is?
hate relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
when they're bouncing around, every time they touch the ground, they're not protected, so it's risky. But they're I don't know if you guys are going to talk about or plan to talk about the rebams and bonds and stuff we got this week, but the tamer ones are actually very, very, very good.
Definitely update with that. Anything else you do this week besides spend 8 billion on rerolling?
I've been contemplating trying that co-op game called Godfall that everyone tells me is actually really good. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
a 3D. I don't. Well, every game is 3D, I guess. That's a bad description. It's a third person, third person like kind of actiony combat. I guess kind of like I don't know, kind of looks like it has like BDO combat, but with a campaign and story mission. You can play with 3 people. Looks kind of fun.
Yeah, if you have friends.
If you have friends, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But you don't make
You
silver.
haven't tried it
doing
yet,
that.
though?
I have not tried it yet. It's on Riot for like $60. So, have you tried it?
No, I heard some mixed things, so I kind of didn't bother with it. The people who did try it in my chat didn't seem too impressed, but
Oh,
who
okay.
knows?
Not
Yeah,
a-
like it looked cool in the trailers, but I don't know about how it actually plays.
I don't know if there was a PvP element to it or something queuable or whatever. It seemed like a cool side game, but I don't know. It sounds like it's trying to be like Diablo. And we can talk more about this after we do all of our BDO stuff, but I saw it and I was like, I looked at it for a little bit. It looks BDO-esque in its combat, but I don't know. Or whatever that PvP game is where you just knock people off the walls.
Yeah.
Moreland, how was your week, buddy?
Lots and lots of demon souls.
Figured.
There's this level in Demon Souls where the whole thing is like narrow walkways that if you fall off either side, you die. And so I kind of just once I figured out that you can invade there, um, I kind of just stayed there for like 6 or 7 hours, invading people all day long. And in the same level, you can be summoned to be the boss of the level. Like it's a PvP boss, and so
Uh-oh.
you become the Dark Souls boss. So that's pretty much all I did was just camp that level and either knock people off of cliffs or get summoned as the boss, and it was just Souls PvP all day long.
That's cool.
That's the game I was thinking Godfall's kind of combat is somewhat like, maybe slightly faster.
Really, I like Demon
That's
Souls.
based on Dark Souls, right? Demon. It's like in the same genre or series.
Yeah, it was like the original Souls game before Dark Souls or anything like that. They remade Demon Souls, which was from like 2009. They just remade it for PS5 with all new graphics and animations and everything.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if it's actually like that, but that's how it looked to me when I saw the trailers. That game has PvP in it, right? Or no? Is that just the Dark Souls version? Like people can jump into your game and kill you.
You didn't hear anything I just said, did you?
Yeah, I was ready about to say. He just told you that one of the bosses
I
was like a PvP battle.
Oh, it was oh, my bad. I did miss that. I apologize.
Yeah, I was just saying how I spent the entire time on this one level invading people because of the terrain and because you can literally be summoned to be the boss of that level. And so
Okay.
it was it was pretty nonstop. It was pretty fun.
Is it the same though? Like you can literally just port into someone's world at any time, kind of thing?
Yeah, so if they're in human form basically, which like gives them more health and gives them some other benefits, then you can invade their world anytime, assuming that they're playing online. And there's so many people playing right now, plus the fact that you're getting someone as the boss, that the invasions are just going off like every few seconds. I had no waiting time at all. Every time I went to invade, it would just immediately put me in someone's world and we had to fight. So it was like none of the usual like waiting to try to find somebody. It was just back to back fights for hours.
Yeah. Does everyone complain about balance, or is it relatively balanced?
It's not balanced at all. No, it's pretty wild. It's definitely you can feel the roughness of it being like the first Souls game.
So is there PvP?
But it's still super fun.
There's PvP in this game?
All right. Here we go. Because I didn't catch any of that. All right.
It's mainly a farming simulator.
Yeah, that's my bad. I have you on mute for this show.
Yeah, fair enough.
Now he is actually going to dislike you. So I had an interesting week. Last week I was doing a 24-hour stream. I didn't quite make it to 24 hours. I'm never going to do one again. It's not my skill set. I just can't do it. And it took me like 3 days to mentally recover from it for some reason. So after I rested up from that, Bond Skills came out on Wednesday, and I've been looking forward to having floating on Cleansing Flame. And so I put out a couple of YouTube videos this week. I think just one. I think I meant to make another one, but I fell asleep. So I put out a YouTube video for Succession for the Xbox homies for Guardian. So that's been fairly well received, and it's been helping out Twitch chat too, which is nice. And my big news of this week is in one day, in under 4 billion silver, I went for Penn Laytons twice.
Damn.
Both failed, obviously, or else you would have heard of it. But my 200 stack is now at 202 stack. And
Nice.
Progress.
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
I'm really happy about this. So like it was fun to I one tapped Tet Laytons 2 times in a row on a 125 stack and a 91 stack. So it was a good day of enhancing, and I have stacks coming out of my ears. And so I kind of have a whole new direction and fun with this. And I saw that Biohack just got his Pen Ogre at 11 attempts, I believe, at like a 285 stack or something.
Oh my god.
So I'm using this opportunity to redo my enhancement system. Is before we thought that greens had a higher enhancement chance or a lower enhancement chance than white gear and stuff.
Did we though?
Wait.
Maybe
Green's
you did.
lower than white? Wait, what?
So greens are harder to enhance than Reblath.
Like from before we knew the enhancement percentages, you mean?
Right. Whether you trust him or not, we can all put our potion shop hats on for a second.
Okay.
But I've been having fun. Like I had like gloves, boots, chest, and helm for Reblath and nothing else. And then like a bunch of Heave helmets before Heave was even a thing. So my enhancement setup is from like fucking 2016, 2017. And so I've been using that opportunity to kind of revamp and just do gloves with everything and kind of phase out some of the green gear and just keep moving forward and having, Pry Duo try Tetsu Reblath to help fail stack. So I've been revamping that. Last week I had, 3,000 Guru boxes, so that's been sustaining me, as far as money. Did a little bit of grinding. I ended up getting 8 distos and 22,000 trash during this grind event, so I made a pile of money that I obviously blew up, but I tagged the Suck Wizard, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I'm trying to learn it a little bit because it's super OP, and I understand why it's OP. But I
You
really
should,
like
for
what
old
Guardian.
times, grind on, because you played Awakening Wizard back in the day, if I remember correctly, right? For a
Yeah,
while.
not very well.
So, if you ever grind Tauros, Awakening Wizard, my friend Bloom tells me Awakening Wizard is the most relaxed chill grind on Tauros of all time because it's just Aqua Gel, Bolide, Hellfire, Cataclysm, and
Oh, you never get
Dreadball.
CC'd.
You never get CC'd. You're just chill, and after the PvE buff, it's actually like pretty decent damage, so you're not like hurting your team.
Yeah, I'm a really big Awakened Witch fan. Is my big problem here. Is every time I'm playing my wizard, I'm going, I really wish I was playing Awakened Witch instead. But I'm gonna give it some time since I'm financially invested. 1.6 bill. I'd have to do another 1.6 bill or just let it rot to do something else. So, and then I'm gonna restart Aftershock because I'm bored. But now, as we'll go through later, the Node War changes are coming through, which is pretty pog. So I'm gonna be really picky and not really have any other leadership besides me, and find people who actually have DP. I put my DP requirement as 329, and everybody who comes into chat is like, "Why is it so high?" Like, fuck. Like, come on, please.
Did have you guys just like given up on life skilling on your tagged characters, or were you not really doing it before anyway, so it doesn't matter? Like as far as Imperials and all that go?
I personally don't really life skill, but my characters that do have anything remotely related to life skilling are all individualized, so they're not on any of the characters I ever actually played.
I have a life skilling character that does everything besides farming.
Oh, okay. Must be nice.
It is. The first time I re-rolled, I was like, "Oh, this is my life skill character." And so, like right now, I'm on gathering.
How was that cleansing flame bond in RBF and stuff?
It's good. So it's not only like a large scale buff, because I was using for my BSR, I was using 50% BSR for the float on cleansing flame. Obviously, it hit harder because BSR,
yep.
But it was a slower animation and it was even easier to see. And so now you get like a really decent engage every 6 seconds, or if you come up on a pile of people, they're all going to bounce back up in the air because now it's a super armor, down smash, floating, air smash
too.
skill. Yeah, it's an air smash too.
It also has air smash?
It also has air smash, yep.
Oh.
Does it have air smash or air attack?
Both. No, it doesn't have air attack, it's air smash.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's down attack, or it's down smash, air smash, floating, super armor. So it's a great skill on a 6-second cooldown. So it's been a lot of fun. It's actually a really big low key 1v1 buff for Awakened Warrior, or Awakened Guardian rather. So that's interesting because once you get him in a grab, you normally go for that down smash on Cleansing Flame, but it doesn't always hit. So now if they don't get down smashed, they get floated and air smashed, and it's awesome.
It seemed like with the older classes, a lot of the CCs they added were just reversions of the old CC nerfs.
Yeah, they were.
But with the newer classes that came out after that, they actually, I guess, put some thought into what would be the best options. I feel like the CC options that Guardian and Hashishin in particular got were pretty crazy compared to a lot of the other classes that just seemed like they were reversions of like the 2016 CCs.
It does have shades to me of that old school pre-CC change, right? They even did one reversion on Guardian, but like the other classes were a lot of reversions. You're right.
This skill is insane. Like, it's insane to me because the passive for Guardian that adds the slow debuff, this cleansing flame skill, the fact that it's a massive range CC, but it also like it AP debuffs the target and slows them. So if they get up after to try to like kill you, there's like a good chance they can't.
Yeah, I put an additional AP debuff on mine.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that's kind of crazy about that is that now with everyone running adamantines in their boots after the Garamoth awakening and everything, float is probably one of the lowest resists that people have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, flow is one of the lower ones for sure.
Must be nice.
Well, I mean, it's a trade-off. I don't know if it's super OP. It's a really cool thing to have in large scale, but um, Awaken Guardian, people get up away from you often. You know, when you're 1v1ing or something, like you really have a lot of reliance on those down smashes, and so having this extra CC through Cleansing Flame makes it so I can combo people just about as easily as other people combo me. And that's the other thing I learned through the tagging system is Guardian is fucking squishy. And this isn't a magical shield thing, but I'm lasting 2 or 3 times longer, it feels like. Like I just don't die like I do on Guardian when I'm on my suck whiz, especially when I'm on my ass. When they tuned how much damage we took from other people on Guardian, they went too far. For as slow and deliberate as that class is, you get caught, you're fucking dead, man. And Witch Wiz kind of have this ability to get away even without magical shield with the same gear. Kind of weird. Kind of weird.
I do agree that it's Witch Wiz have way too good of defenses, but I'm not sure if I agree with that Guardian was overly nerfed. I mean, as long as you guys have Phoenix Dive, like it's hard to say that the class needs to be tankier than it already is because you've just got so many options for disengage. Like I don't have those kind of options on my warrior.
Right. And I understand that, but we also don't have the 1v1 capability or the comboing capability that Warrior does too. Just because you're playing Succession for some reason instead of Awakening, you know, doesn't negate the fact that you have a lot more in your kit than you choose to use.
I think that I mean I kind of I don't know. It has with the newer bomb skill too, which I think is a little bit it's a sleeper pretty good for Guardian because it's another engage besides the forward F. The problem with the forward F engage on Guardian is kind of like Warriors. You can get CC'd in the back or the side because only forward guard while you're moving. And any forward guards like that, where like while you're moving, you're vulnerable in the back. But that new Rabomb lets you like run, jump, dive in with super armor while saving Phoenix Dive as your get out of jail free. I know it's like pretty crazy.
I never have a
I actually think
problem forward effing into a pack of people ever.
I have a friend who spends a lot of time 1v1ing on Guardian, and he kind of changed my mind on it. I actually do think it's a pretty good 1v1 class. It just has a couple like against Ninja and Kuno, it really struggles, but against like everybody else, I actually think it's pretty solid. Maybe Warrior as well. Warrior's probably rough,
It's almost
but
impossible to kill a warrior, especially an awakened one.
yeah, but I don't know. He like finds a way. He's really good at anticipating what people are doing and saving his iframes and stuff. But yeah, he makes it actually look pretty good in 1v1s. Like we do King of the Hills all the time, and he like wipes through all of us a lot. And it's not an easy fight for me on Kuno either against him. Like every other Guardian almost always is like, well, this is a free win. Because I always like a Guardian will ask to duel for spot, and like I say R, they say R, and then they use God Incinerator first. And I'm like, well, I just won this.
When do you do
Because
these?
like you just
When do you
jump
do
in
these
and
King of the
grab.
Hills? Because I've been low key working on that, and I'd like some practice.
Just like our guild ones, or sometimes when I'm streaming, we'll do it on stream, so I'm not just grinding the whole time. But my friend Amritat, he's like always into he loves PvP on his Guardian, so he always shows up. But
So
yeah, I'll hit you up next time if you want.
Yeah, please.
Rusty, I'm curious what you think about this because what you said just reminded me of a theory that we had about how class balancing is done in KR. There's been multiple mentions when the devs are asked about class balance where they talk about kill death ratios and how like the kill death ratios aren't what people think they are, and they don't show that like certain classes are balanced or unbalanced the way that the community thinks. And so my theory there is that if you're looking at kill death ratios, especially in Siege, people aren't going to allow the non-meta classes into Siege unless you're an exceptional player with exceptional gear. So if you're only allowing like the top 1% of, tamers or whatever into your guild, then obviously they're going to have really good kill death ratios. Whereas other classes like Guardian that are full-blown flavor of the month when they come out just have hordes of bad players playing them who just open up with God Incinerator. So that then artificially decreases their kill death ratio, but they're still allowed to get into siege guilds because they're the meta class. And then that leads to kind of this backwards like concept as far as the devs go regarding who's overpowered and who isn't. What do you think about that?
It's the worst form of balance of all. It's like literally the worst thing you can do. And I feel like when I was GM, it was like the big thing where it was like, dude, your kill death means nothing if we're losing. And a lot of the time, like the kills are based purely on last hits. It's not even who was the most effective, who caught the guy, who did the most CC. Like there's so many things that devalue the actual like balance implications of kill death. And like you said, like tamers, like okay, because Kendrick Tamar and Barcode used to be like 100 kills and 5 deaths, so Tamer was overpowered. And again, like you said, like the meta classes are generally, or the non-meta classes are generally good players, and they skew it so much. So yeah, I completely agree. I can't stand that form of balance. I mean, look at Wizard when they were like, well, we looked at Wizard and Witch and we heard your feedback. We looked at it in Node War and saw that it had a really high kill death ratio because of 200% meteor. And it's like, no, that was a bonus, but it also destroys everybody and CCs everybody, and I'm dying to other people because WizWitch are CCing me from range. So yeah, I don't know. I can't stand kill death ratio as a metric, to be honest. Never have. Also, in every siege guild I've been in, it's like a class that everyone says is bad is always at the top too. It's always like a Musa that's like 120 kills and 4 deaths when Lame Zor was in Black Rose, or a Zerker. Like, look at Zerker's 200%. Every guild has like a Zerker getting like 10, like 20 kills
Dude,
for every
I've
one
I've
death.
never bought into the whole Zerker is underpowered thing. That class seems like it's been just absolutely solid in large scale since probably late 2016.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I also think Zerker is strong in large scale. It's a lot of people are babies. I think it had a lot of bugs and issues that needed to get fixed, and they started addressing them in the last few months. But yeah, I actually agree with that too. I've never really felt like Zerker is bad. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't like it because there's just too many factors to balance based on kill death. It's silly. But I do agree with the theory that it's generally bad. Like it's a lot of bad players that play the meta classes that kind of make its KD look bad. I mean, unless something is so overtuned, like back in the day when Mystic, like even bad Mystics were still doing well just because they couldn't die. I don't know.
Yeah, I was one of those bad mystics. I would just spam Spiral Torpedo and kill people with like 50 less AP at Pirates. It was completely broken.
It was so fun though. Oh my god,
It was really fun.
It was so fun, dude. Diving into a ball. It was like the rotation was Spiral, Tidal Burst, Sea Burial, and then you're back to full health because all that shit heals you too for some reason. It was crazy.
We want to dive into some of this week's changes and shit.
Yeah, sure. So first we have season graduation. We finally have
Hooray!
everybody can graduate now, right? Nobody's trapped.
Yeah, you don't need special gear or anything like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That was a weird thing to do.
It was an annoying thing to do.
I feel like you should just be able to graduate immediately, you know? But
yeah. They need to either pick, because the thing that was so annoying to me, because if you're gonna have an early graduation that requires gear, like make it really early, like 2 weeks in. Don't like make everyone wait 5 months and then also be like, also there's a gear wreck. So all the people that just waited now are still stuck. It's kind of dumb.
yeah.
The graduation also came with a bunch of quests, which are interesting because you get a lot of rewards from them. They did like, I think there's 40 quests. They brought that guy Fugar back for a quest line once you graduate, and you can actually get a second boss exchange coupon to turn a Tuvala piece into a boss piece. So if you already used your coupon from this season, you can get another one by finishing the quest line.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you also get a bunch of dust and stuff for doing the quest line too. Kind of long, but it's a lot of decent rewards.
Man, they are dumping gaffers into this game right now. EU must be like flooded.
I know. I like our orders are so low, it's crazy. It's gone down from 70,000 to like 10.
Yeah.
I just bought some. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Next on the list is character abilities, which I assume means the core abilities, which we touched on pretty heavily Do you guys have any other comments about it? Have you tried out your core abilities at all in Warrior, or are you gonna try them on Awakened Warrior, or what are you doing, Mario?
I don't know, dude. I've been trying to get new hardware since like April, and everything's sold out. So, well, not I guess it wasn't sold out in April, but everyone told me like, wait, because the new stuff's coming out, and so I waited, and then
No, you can't get it.
Nvidia's shit came out, all sold out instantly by bots. AMD's new shit came out, all sold out instantly by bots. So, I mean, I guess I can just go play like with my shitty unstable FPS, but I tried grinding stars in with Awakened Warrior, and I could just feel my character not being consistent. Like I couldn't understand what was going on. There were some packs that I would instantly melt, and other packs it would take me like 2 full rotations, and I wasn't understanding like what I was doing wrong, why my damage was changing so much. So I want to try it with a better PC and see if I'm just like messing something up, or if it really is just Warrior's still that FPS dependent. But I mean, when I'm playing Succession, I know exactly what to expect. I know exactly how much damage each ability does. Everything feels very consistent. When I'm playing Awakening, every single pack, it's like I have to pay way more attention because I don't know which skills are going to hit and which ones aren't. It's very weird. So I've been trying to get new hardware so I could play my class again, but no luck.
Yeah, it's such a gimp, I think, to be playing Succession on Warrior right now.
The Awakening looks so good, and it's gotten so many buffs this year. And now with this Bond shit, like, yeah, but I might maybe I'll just do it anyways. Who knows?
They have
Is the grind still pretty efficient on Suck though? Is that why you play it?
Oh yeah, it's really good.
There's a bound on the end of grave digging. There's super armor on solar flare, and then there's frontal guard, I think, on balance strike. Some good options.
That one's
there.
crazy.
Yeah.
Balance strike after head chase. I feel like the frontal guard on balance strike after head chase is it's basically dragon bite, like a mini dragon bite.
Yeah, it is.
Also, what, 4-second cooldown? I think.
Yeah.
I'm surprised people go for that one. It's such a short animation. Like I don't know, just solar flare to grab, right?
Well, so the problem with, I think why you would take solar flare is large scale, because you're still probably going in or want to go in with that solar flare, but you're going to be catching the edges of 20 voltaics as you go in with it, and you don't want to get caught out on the side of some weird CC. You want a really protected engagement. So, I mean, I went in with solar flare all the time before CC changes, and we had lingering super armor, and it was always successful.
Yeah, but the forward guard on balance strike, of all the options there, the forward guard on balance strike is, I guess, like for 1v1s. Is that what people are thinking? Just to make your catch more protected? I still don't know why you wouldn't just put the protection on solar flare and just go right into grab.
Yeah, I don't know. I think because the distance on solar flare is bigger, so it's so fast that it's hard to capitalize on it. Maybe, I don't know. Sphero said he likes all three. He's gonna be switching between them. He actually likes grave digging more for large scale and PVX, but balance strike and solar flare for 1v1.
I don't know if because it's only on the smash, right? Which is the downward couple hits of grave digging. If it was on the first attacks,
there's no cooldowns for changing them, right? So you could just have a macro that swaps, assuming the skill's not on cooldown. You could just have a macro that swaps your bond to that skill, like on the engage.
Well, I don't think you could have a macro. That doesn't sound like it's in the spirit of the game, but you can definitely pull up your skill window and change it quickly.
You wouldn't be allowed to, but you definitely could.
Well, I wouldn't.
Should probably focus on getting a macro for your Amazon account to buy that hardware you need.
Man, we're gonna have to have Borland off the podcast next week.
Let me see. I'm gonna test this out. If you can actually, can you swap it while the skill is on cooldown?
No, the skill has to be off cooldown.
Okay.
But like,
some of them are so low.
I was in Liger's stream yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have bound on grave digging," and just like stopped, pulled up a skill window, took it off that, and put it on balance strike or solar flare or whatever, and just kept going. So I remember a couple weeks ago when this was first announced, or a month ago or whatever it was, we were talking about how we were concerned about like the RNG. Like, okay, well, let's find out, what bond skill this guy's running, and we didn't even realize that with a old moon book you could just change it instantly, no worries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could bait someone with one bond and then swap to another. Just back off, get your 5-second cooldown, and change it.
Yeah, King of the Hill, every time you show up to fight, you have a different bond skill.
Yeah.
You think there should be a cooldown on it, like a separate, like a longer cooldown, so you
Yeah,
can't
like
push
a
it?
like a 60-second one at least. I mean, as someone, I don't know which class is going to do this, probably Ranger, but someone is going to figure out a way to do multiple bonds in the same combo. I I'm not sure how yet, but someone's going to have a sweaty macro that they use to break the game.
I would say 20 minutes if you're not in a safe zone. And then if you're in a safe zone, you can do it.
20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's an hour no matter what when you're doing like your actual skill.
The preset cooldown is ridiculous to
It's
me.
so
It's
stupid.
absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it's super long.
I don't know. I don't really want to be
know.
fighting somebody open world, and then they just go, well, this bond skill isn't working out. Let me change it because there's only a 2-minute cooldown on changing a core mechanic of how my class works. I don't know if I really want to see that in this game. So if you want to change it out in the wild, I think a 20-minute cooldown would be 15, 20 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark.
I actually like. I don't mind the 10-minute cooldown on the swapping from the skill instructor. I just wish the BA had a skill instructor at all times.
I hate
feel like-
that. I hate the 10-minute thing. I think that's ridiculous.
You think it's too short or too long?
Wait, I don't even know why there's a cooldown.
Yeah, for skill presets, like who cares? If all your skills are off cooldown, swap a roo.
If you're at a skill instructor, also waiting for ebuff kind of sucks. But you know, when I'm in an RBF and I jump in an RBF or whatever, or I'm making a YouTube video and I just want to check out my add-ons or bounce back and forth, I've hit that 10-minute thing a couple of times, and I've just been like, oh fucking Christ, man.
Yeah, it's irritating. The on Sork it's even worse because their shift Q shield is 5 minutes.
Oof.
So they have to wait. Pretty funny. The amount of times like my friends at PvP and test stuff out, they're like, fuck, 4 minutes. It's on cooldown.
That's just
can't swap.
You can't. You have to have it like that though, you know. So I don't know why their shit's 5 minutes though. That seems ridiculous. I don't think. Is there anything else that has a longer cooldown than 3 minutes besides that?
Well, it's their shield. So the shield lasts for the entire cooldown. It's their 13 DP buff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta have that.
Yeah, it would be nice to have that shorter. And also just put a skill instructor in BA. It's literally where we test everything. Having one in there would be so nice. Especially with the new BA. Like, if you go on, I don't know, it's like so wonky. You can't change characters because it leaves you on the same character but loads you out of BA when you try to character swap. Ever since they added the new like 10 battle arenas.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Give us a skill instructor in there so we could mess around. You can't even go in there during Node War, so it's not like it would affect Node War or anything.
You can't go into any of the BAs during Node War times, or just on the channel.
On the channels,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it would affect Node War too much. The Kuno bonds, if anyone cares, are they make me sad.
Why?
I don't know. They're just not very good.
Really?
Like,
Some of them looks good.
Yeah, they're like good on paper. It's like Delighted Blast has the same problem that Solar Flare has, where it's like the super on it, armor on it sounds really cool, but you generally use it with a little bit of space, and you have Frontal Guard right after it with C swap, so you're not really getting caught out of Delighted very much. It's like pretty rare. And then Lunar Dash Frontal Guard is nice, but that's one of those ones that feels like that skill always should have had Frontal Guard. It's weird that it didn't ever get it back. And they changed it recently where it was a good change before the bonds came out. They changed it so if your reticle is not directly on them, that it'll ignore collision, go past them. So now if you actually are trying to use it as a Frontal Guard stiffen, you go past them a lot.
Oh.
It's kind of hard to aim it. So that part's kind of weird. And then Spin Spree is on the first hit, it has stiffness. So if you hold the whole thing, they're out of the CC before Spin Spree's over.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So maybe that one should have been stun. I don't know. And then Half Moon Slash is pretty cool, but it's only on the first hit of the two. That one's pretty nice actually. And then Wheel Wrath I think is it's Frontal Guard on it, and it's pretty cool for large scale in a combo to save you. But I don't think Succession Kunos are going to play Awakening still because of this. Where I do think other classes, the bonds might actually like persuade them to play Awakening over Suck.
I've had an interesting time with it with just RBF. I've been grinding out RBF kills. I think about 2,500 or something now on my Guardian, and which isn't much, but I just re-rolled recently. And I've been having a lot of fun in the past podcast. I've been talking about doing Succession Guardian, having a lot of fun with that. And I catch myself going back and forth. I feel like, I walk away every once in a while with a couple more points on Succession than I do Awakening. The APM and the movement's a little bit snappier. I feel like just in general, and the trade-off for that is almost none of your moves are super armor. So if you ever see a Succession Guardian, just go behind them at any point in time, and you're probably going to catch them. So
Yeah.
it's been an adjustment, but it's been a lot of fun. And so I'll do an RBF or two on Awakening because it's cool to have that cleansing flame with all those, additives to it. But it's still the burst on, even with 284 AP, I'm way stronger on Succession Guardian than I am Succession Wizard, Witch Wizard. 284 goes way further on Guardian than it does on Witch Wizard, which is interesting and kind of demoralizing, honestly. Like, I really do want to learn how to play Succession Wizard well, but, every time I'm doing this, I'm like, I could just be two-shotting people on my Guardian.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna be shot calling and stuff, I probably need to have a PA, but that'll be later. We can talk about that. I may just not play a caster if these PA changes come through, which we'll get into with Global Labs. But
I want to touch on the bonds for Mystic and Striker because they both got Spiral Torpedo and Spiral Cannon.
Yeah.
Super armor.
What's
which
on
is
Spiral?
really powerful.
What do you put on it?
Spiral's SA.
Oh my
Or what do you mean?
god! What?
On both.
Just like it used to be.
Well, the thing that's interesting is Spiral Cannon used to be, the Striker one used to be forward guard, and they
Right.
get it super armor this time around.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
But
the
here's
more
the
egregious thing is Mystic, though, because you can knock people down through their frontal guard. Because it
through
hits
their frontal
behind.
guard.
And that's super armor.
They semi-recently changed, I don't know how many months ago, but I was talking to Striker about it. They actually changed Spiral Cannon to do the same thing. So it actually goes completely through your frontal now. Spiral Cannon will ignore collision. Either way, here's the thing though. So they don't have any, I don't know if you guys noticed this testing any of the bonds, but the lingers aren't really there like they used to at all. Like, you can't hold the skill after and just wait. There's no like leeway at the end. And Spiral Cannon and Spiral Torpedo are the same way. Like, right at the very, very end of the animation, you're open. And I was testing it a lot on Mystic. There's actually no way to go from Spiral Torpedo into Flash or Silent Step safely. Like, there's always an opening there that you can be CC'd out of at the very end of Spiral and into your next ability. I usually test this
with the person on the ground.
Yeah. True. I test it always with a ranger because they have that knockback ability that they can spam where it just hits you a million times. And I tried, like, if I flash 3 times, I don't get CC'd. If I, like, a bunch of different combinations work, but Spiral Torpedo into a movement ability right after, I always get knocked back between the two.
There's 100% holes between your dashes. 100%. Whether you get caught in them or not, there's a hole there. Maybe it's got to be with Mystic too, because it's definitely with Striker.
It's smaller than this new gap, I guess, is my point. But yeah, you're right. You definitely can get caught between them. But in this, it's like the opening is pretty big. So like a good player that knows how to play against Striker and Mystic will actually be able to capitalize on that.
If they don't get CC'd out of it.
If they don't get CC'd out of it. But it is a good CC. It's super good CC. It's crazy. Yeah. Striker too, it makes Striker's whole combo fully protected, basically. Like their basic combo. As long as they're not doing the DP debuff punch. I'm pretty sure the whole thing is protected. Because it's what, grab, shift Q, spiral, leg drop for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't think any of that has any opening.
Must be nice.
Did they get bound on leg drop?
They did. They got bound on leg drop.
So many
I don't think a
Capegas are
lot
gonna
will
run
take
that.
it though. Yeah, it's
Ah,
yeah, the bad players are gonna run that, but
it,
Spiral is just so much better. I actually ran into a striker yesterday that he didn't have it on Spiral in Node War, and I was like, why does this guy not have it on Spiral? What's happening?
I don't know if you need it on Node. I could see you taking bounds on leg drop in large scale. I could see that. Maybe not like a 30 man, but if you're in siege or something and you're playing a striker for some reason, I could see putting bound on leg drop.
Yeah, it's just Bound is such like it's not a great CC anymore.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it
That's
used
why
to be
like
fine when
God
I don't know.
Incinerator got bound too, and I'm not even tempted. I'm not even tempted. You'd have to be a first day guardian to think that that's a good addition.
Even for large scale, you don't think it's useful?
I don't think so. Even though it has such a large CC, in my video where I explained all the bonds and stuff, I put that it was an option, and it is an option. But I think you'd have to be a fairly under-geared guardian for that to really be an option, because just floating people with
I mean, it's basically
Cleansing
just giving
Flame.
Guardian Voltaic, isn't it? Like, that's what witches and wizards are doing. They're just AoE bounding everybody.
But you can't really follow up with a bound on Guardian.
Yeah, the
I'm
other
not
thing
saying it
too
would
is
be good for 1v1. I'm saying that for large scale, you're a class that's diving in protected and knocking everybody down, and then your ball is following up. I would never use bound in 1v1. But for large scale, if you have a huge AoE protected bound, I mean, that is kind of one of the things that makes staff classes so threatening.
The thing is, though, like isolated, you're right, but cleansing flame is still so much better because you don't even have to put yourself at risk by diving in.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it has so much range, and it's also SA. That's the only thing. Otherwise, it would. You're not wrong. But it's like you're saying, like Voltaic is faster, and you can start your next ability after Voltaic so much faster.
Right, and then you can teleport to get into the position that you need, which is an iframe, and you can't see it coming. Getting into that pack to do that, big super armor bound. With Guardian, you have to forward F into there, or you do your teleport into there and you die there like an asshole. Or you can get float on this 6-second cooldown that has this massive range that you can change at the very last second. At the very last second, you can just move it to wherever you want it to go. And so I think if you're a really bad guardian or new, I think if you're a really new guardian or you're under geared or something and you're not really sure at what to do, then you can pick bound on God Incinerator. But I think 99% of guardians should be picking Cleansing Flame for PvE and PvP, because somebody will flag up on you.
Well, it sounds like even for an undergeared guardian, it's the safer option since it has that range.
For an undergear guardian, maybe do knockdown on Dragon Maw. The longest range skill they put a knockdown on, which is again a phenomenal CC, and you can charge it up. It does a ton of damage even if people are on their feet, and that might be the way to go, even over bound on God Incinerator. You look at it and you think it's great, but it just isn't.
So we got bunch of other stuff we need to get into this week, right?
Yeah, BSA update real quick. We got the cards that came out. There's one spot on the thing where the cards pop through.
Yeah. Why do they put one spot? Even on the special board doesn't have any spots for it. It's literally just the one spot.
How many times have you completed each one of your boards, Frosty?
I have 6 total completions.
What about the secondary board?
Is there a way to see that if I'm on the normal board?
No, you don't know off the top of your head?
No, maybe twice, I think.
I'm 10.
I think I completed the secondary twice.
10 on the normal board, 5 on the secondary.
Oh god, you're carried.
I'm a little
I have 0.
Yeah, I got my fine accessory box a couple days ago from my 10th finish on the main board.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, how about that? So I don't give a fuck about these cards.
Secondary board's pretty nice.
It is. So on one roll, I got a 40 stack, like one of those enchanted scroll 40 stacks. And then I rolled a double, so it rolled again, and I landed on 20 Caphras. So one roll, I made, let's call it 100 mil.
Yeah, basically.
So roll your dice, incels.
Wow.
tagging system we can touch on for just a second more, I guess. I think what is really kind of come out through the tagging system is that there really isn't much of a replacement for experience on a class, and there's been some streamer foibles over the last couple of months or whatever, people re-rolling different classes and thinking that they can just walk up on there and do well. And every time you re-roll to a different class, there is a learning curve. And so just being a tag and rolling over, to do Node War or RBF or whatever, there's still probably going to be a dent. So I really see this as probably holistically as a buffed PvE, to take potion shops kind of mentality with this. Where if your class that you enjoy playing like Kuno doesn't work out so well, maybe you could move over to Succession Striker and make, with your gear 7,000 trash per hour at Sakraya with a couple hours worth of practice.
Does it take a couple hours of practice? I don't even think.
It's like 3 buttons, right?
I'm being nice.
Combos.
I'm being nice.
I can't play that class, dude. I refuse. My thing with the tag system, I want to also PvP with a off class and it just be kind of for fun. I don't know. I've just accepted that I'm not going to get that high of trash on anything I play, so I don't care anymore.
That's bullshit, man. Fine. That's fucked up. Also, have you seen Suck Striker in RBF? They kind of game. You don't just use 3 skills. Good. It's fun. The pre-awaken kit of Striker is fun for the couple of us that have dug into it. That was one of the big reasons I got into 1v1s. Is the pre-awaken kit of Striker was so much fun. So I don't think it's a bad choice. I think everybody should be taking a look at it that doesn't know what to tag. They should take a look at Suck Striker.
It's a good choice. Part of my motivation for all my tag picks is they have to be classes I played before because I really don't want to grind skill points anymore. And I only have a level 8 striker.
I got 3 skill points on my Suck Wizard today, and most of the time I spent chain lightning one person that wouldn't leave my rotation. And they said very nasty things about my stream dying.
Oh,
I know.
There was a video. I watched a video this morning. Someone linked, or I think it was on Reddit. This guy who said, I'm done playing Ninja. It's too many buttons. And then it shows him, he starts playing Witch, and he's like, this class is actually way harder than I thought. It took me 5 hours to learn. And then it's just like 5 minutes of him deleting everybody in RBF on his Suck Witch.
Yeah. Some classes definitely will take more time than others.
It's taking me a little bit to get used to the staff thing, but I'm like 4 RBFs in, and I'm doing okay. I think by the end of the stream, I'll have a decent handle on it. I still rather be playing Awakened Witch, though. I've got such a fucking weird affinity for that. But I'm always behind the curve on like the flavor of the month or the popular class. So I'm trying just to, again, a couple months late, but to actually dig in on it. So we'll see how it goes. So we have more Nightmares, Arca, and Bloodstorm new respawns. Have you guys done this? I actually have to pee real quick if you don't want to talk about this without me for a second.
I have not done it. I keep thinking about doing it.
I've avoided Nuver. Just because I don't like the idea of running back if you die and I don't want to tier. But Nightmares Arca, I was able to hit the Nightmares Arca this week. I still have not gotten anything good from it, but the gold bars that it drops are nice. And it does give, I think I got 5 latent auras from one of them.
How scary is the actual fight? Have you had to tier?
Well, I have a boss alt there that's like in full Tuvala or whatever. Or
so you would just tier to avoid the run back?
Yeah, I actually stopped tiering in Nightmares Arca, which is why I think it's dying slower, because I think a lot of people stopped tiering there. And now they just run back. As long as you hit it a few times, I think most people are fine with it. But now it's like that first week it was dying in like 3 minutes, and now that it's spawning kind of regularly, I think people just have their boss ults there and they die and they run back. So it takes like 7 or 8 minutes to kill. But the fight is pretty interesting. It spawns these things on the ground that leave you stuck that you never would have noticed on old Zarka because you just don't really care to run away. But on this Zarka, when it spawns these little cement circles and you get stuck on it and you end up dying because it's sad.
I think those bosses could be so crazy if there was like a live damage tracker and they doled out loot based on where you were in terms of DPS, like so that everyone actually brought their mains and try-harded.
Well,
Yeah,
that would be
be
good in
fun.
Node Wars too, you know?
That would be
There's
so
more
fun.
DPS meter.
That was so great.
Dude, stats in Node Wars would be super nice. Assists, how
Number
much
of
you
CCs.
healed, number of CCs. Like, I know these are all like pie in the sky stuff, impossible to do, but I also think it would be really fun to have one that's like number of CCs that directly resulted in a player's death. It would be fun to keep track of that kind of stuff. So people that don't just last hit everybody actually feel important.
Dude, that would dox Zerkers being an overpowered class so quickly.
Yeah, that was I was gonna say the class breakdown of that one stat would be so stark.
If somebody wants to extort choice for his stream money, they could probably just say, "Hey, we're the BDO library could be like fund us, or else we're going to put this out next." Just blackmail the shit out of him with other Zerkers too. But I know he was a big proponent on the whole super armor damage for Zerkers, which makes me vomit when I think of it. Okay, so I didn't do much with the. I don't really care. We talk about it every once in a while. I think it's cool that the engagements are better and it's starting to slow down because the excitement's going away. But like, I used to go to world bosses because how else are you gonna get a Zarka? It's not about the money for things anymore because the per hour is so high. It's about you can't get this anywhere else, right? So that's Turos now. You got to get that flame there. You know, that's a potion grind. That's all that stuff. They need to figure out how to bring something like that back to world bosses, not just give you Caphras and have an engagement that's going to make you spend pearls or do your daily loyalty thing or whatever. So I don't think it really brings back in what's his name's words. I don't think it brings back the magic of original BDO, if that is indeed their continued quest.
I don't know if they can bring back the original magic of like what are they going to add to world bosses? I mean, a new Zarka.
They could have added the flame to Nightmare Zarka. They could add a potion piece. Yeah. They could have added the costume pieces. They could have added all these things that could be in different things that would make it fun. They could bring PvP back into it. You know, if you're talking about what the old thing is, it's things you can't buy off the marketplace that you have to be in an event for. Why do you think Garmoth is so widely attended? It's hard to get.
Do you think that there's a universal truth behind the fact that it's just more fun to do self-found gear than to buy it off the market? Like, do you think in general MMOs would be better if you just couldn't buy shit and you had to get your own gear, like almost like playing SSF and PoE?
I think that's one of the big reasons why World of Warcraft has been so successful for so long. It does have buying unequipped gear, and it's normally used to fund a guild. It's not really kept, but it is that same tier level items, you know, especially if it's an accessory or whatever. I don't think it would be better. I think it's good to be able to buy things off the marketplace to make you relevant, but the best gear, I think, should probably be majority self-found.
I'm kind of split on it. I actually kind of like the way BDO does it. Like, maybe there could be some more self-found stuff. Like, maybe Black Stars shouldn't be sellable or something, but I don't know. There's an element of the way people play the market that I think is really appealing to people in BDO, and the marketplace is really like alive. It's such a huge part of the game. So I don't know. Like, the gambling for accessories is a really fun like boost in dopamine or sadness. That's really entertaining, fun to watch. Like, when your friend in your guild is about to enhance something, everybody wants to watch it, you know, because it's exciting, and it could net, even if they don't need it for their actual gear, it could net them so much money. So I don't know. I'm like half and half. I like self-found gear as well, but I think a balance is nice.
Moreland asked Joe Never Fails in an early episode of this podcast if he felt anything after he went for Pen Blackstar once or twice, and Joe was kind of confused about it. And I was reminded of that when I had my stream the other day that I went for Pen Latents twice, because holy shit did I feel something. Going for a pen accessory, no crons, just let it fucking ride, is a high point of fun in this game. Even if you fail, I've got kind of the old sales mentality of like every no is one no closer to yes. I feel like there's a predetermined amount of fails that I have to have for this necklace. So as I knock them out, I get closer to my yes. And so when you have that mentality with enhancing, I thought it was a wicked fun day to be able to just blast through a bunch of enhancing and then go for it. Well, technically the second best neck or third best neck, but you know, that level of AP, that level of risk, you know, twice in a day was absolutely insane. I went to bed a little giddy, even though I was a loser, even though I failed. I didn't one or even two tap it. I had a great time.
Were you leading up to the very first click? Was your heart pounding? Were you like nervous?
Not like
I feel
that.
like I get nervous.
I'm pretty dead inside, so that doesn't it doesn't come through like that. But as far as like the rewarding, you know,
I get nervous as fuck. Even on just TED attempts, I'm just like, oh my god, here it comes. Like I could just lose 4 bill right now in 1 second.
yeah, the TED attempts I don't like. The TED attempts give me like anxiety. But when I'm almost more excited for the TET because it's a free pin. It's a free pin. It's a free chance at pin. And if I get a pen neck, that changes how I play this game instantly, so quickly. I get 2 brackets in succession. I'm just cracked with Awakening. Everything's great. And so the letdown and like the, I got to get back at this grind after I fail pen's great. But failing TET doesn't feel good at all. At all.
Yeah.
Did you feel any remorse after you blew up the tets that you made, like with the opportunity cost of being able to just liquidate those and get you like guaranteed progress towards a pin? Did that ever?
I did think about it. In actually my chat on my first one when I one tapped it. So if actually I'm 3 for 3 on Tet necks. I've never failed a Tet neck. The one that I'm wearing I one tapped, but there's no way to know that you're gonna get 2 in a row. And so when you look at 22 bill, right? If I would have stopped with that first one and sold it, I wouldn't have gone for the second one. And so just going 11 bill, and now I got to grind out another 70 or 80. But then if you knew that you're going to get 2 and you're 20 bill into a grind already, and you only need another 50 or 60, that changes the story. But I'm gonna have my name. I'm not gonna be a cuck. I'm gonna have my name on my neck. My collar is gonna have my name. It's gonna say Timmy boy, big penis man.
When I bought my pen ogre, I submitted a ticket to have the name removed.
Yeah.
The name was Sky
Did
Thought.
it work?
Sky Thought?
Yeah. It was definitely a roulette. You could tell by the name.
If you couldn't remove the name, I'd probably only make pen necks in this game, so people would have to run around with Tim Allen made necks. That'd probably be just as infuriating for a large percentage of this community.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It gives me direction. I think we talk about that a lot in this game, where it's like, where do you go? What are you focused on? All that kind of stuff. And I had fun enhancing and getting back into that. I haven't done it for a while. There's a bunch of different facets of this game. And I think it'll be cool to have a pen neck with my name on it. I don't know if I'll do it for all my accessories, but we'll see how this one goes.
How many pen fails before you start feeling really miserable and decide you're going to buy it?
I'll feel bad after 10, but I don't know if I'll ever stop. Again, I'm only 4 bill into this, and I've already had 2 attempts.
Right. Pretty good.
202 stacks, not bad. We're over 10% tapping.
I'm about to have my 13th duo Dead God fail.
Oof.
Ooh, rough. How many Caphras total have you used so far? Have you kept track?
I don't know, maybe like 800.
Do you know how many pry fails? I can math this out right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've used around. It's been something like 80 or 90 clicks total, so probably like 800-900 Caphras.
Yeah, that's rough. I got carried on mine. I got my second attempt. What stack are you doing duo?
Currently, it's at 143. It started at 140 or 107.
That's harsh.
I one tapped pry and duo.
Must be nice. Did you go for a try ride afterwards with your surplus?
Absolutely not. I didn't have the crons for it.
What's your bottleneck? Moreland? Is it just the masses or Caphras or anything?
It was Caphras when I tried to do this the other day. I have plenty of masses, so it's about to just be silver. Honestly, I'm broke as shit.
You got to play the game.
Yeah, that's the problem is I basically haven't played this game since I bought a Pen Black Star. So, and I failed again.
That's what happens. I mean, you saved up silver to buy Pen Black Star, I assume.
Yeah,
It will burn you out. That's what happened when I got my Pen Ogre. I just stopped grinding for like 2 months.
it was the payoff for getting it wasn't there. That was the problem. Like I got this massive upgrade, and I thought I was gonna feel completely different, and I went to grind, and it just didn't even really feel that much better.
Yeah.
So like I don't think my damage was actually bottlenecking me. I think it's my pulling or my pets or something. So yeah, it was kind of deflating to be honest.
Yeah. That yeah. That reminds me of myself. Every time I get an upgrade, I'm like, hell yeah, my trash about to go up. And I'm like, no, my bowling is trash and I'm just bad. So doesn't matter how fast they die.
Yeah, I don't worry too much about that. I was thinking about going for crowning Pen Black Star. I've got one person in my stream who gives me an amount of money every so often that is going to likely force me to raw tap my Pen Black Star every so often. So hopefully it goes off of that. But I kind of learned from Moreland's struggles there, where grinding's grinding, and I'm not a super sweaty grinder. I just want to be able to do it for hours and hours and hours and hours and make whatever I make 5,000 trash per hour or 5,500 at Sakurai while I'm streaming, and then just do it for 10 hours, not have to break my back trying to figure out how to get to 6,000 or 6,200 or from there to another 100. That's not fun to me. So getting the extra stats on the Pen Black Star is not super appealing outside of how much I would one-shot people on Suck Guardian. That would be absolutely nuts. Anyway, the Basilisk event. Have you guys checked out the Basilisk event?
No, it looked really silly. You have to have like one person up on a hill while another person kills the boss. I don't know.
I didn't do the boss part. I just did the killing the totems so you could get all the rewards thing. And it was real bad. With the worst content I've experienced, which is a pretty high bar in this game.
I can't imagine what the goal is for half these events. Like even as filler, they just seem like such an odd use of resources.
You do it, Frosty? That man went to the bathroom. I'm fine. Just moving on from that. There's not much
I
else to say.
I accidentally muted myself. That was a mistake. Yeah, I did do it. The Bassi thing itself is actually permanent content. It's the event is just the reward, which is funny because you could actually do that content without the reward.
Like Altar of Blood.
Yeah. So I did it the way I think you're supposed to do it. So I went there with 2 other people and they were up on the top fighting the statues and I fought the snakes. And to finish the snake portion, you have to kill 4 of them and it takes about a half an hour. And it was not very fun, no. But the reward was amazing. I mean, it was a lot of stuff because you get 100 mil gold. So if you think about it, it takes 30 total minutes to do it the hardest way possible. You could do an easier way by just doing the statues. But 30 minutes and you got like what 10 sharps, 10 hards, 10 memory fragments, 10 advice of Alex, 100 mil gold bar, and 250 spirit dust. Pretty good. And then we get to do it again next week.
Or you can just stay in rotation and make the same silver per hour, not have to go anywhere new.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it told us out to like 270 mil or something like that for only 30 minutes of your time. So it's not. And if you go there, if you actually do the statue way, so the way you could do it with the statues, you both take the statue quest. One person starts the scroll. You're up. The other person's doing the statues. After they finish the statues, you swap. Then you finish the statues, and it should really only take you about 10 minutes, maybe 15 at most.
I think if you ask Big Bad Nips, he's who did it for me. If you ask him real nice, he'll do it for you too, Moreland. But you should definitely grab it real quick for that money.
Yeah, we'll see.
I got RNG carried too. I actually got a Bassy belt from one of the snakes.
This is why
It's
people
extra
don't like
30
you. Oh.
mil. Look at that. 30 mil. I can't even sell it because they just had the fine accessory box. So there's like a million listed.
All right, what do we got next? I want to get into this good stuff. All right, early Black Friday. Let's talk about the Pearl Shop. I mean, I guess it's kind of good because we can buy costumes right now. The whales are out.
The whales are out. Some good deals.
Whales are out. You're looking for Cron Stones. I'm not gonna open a box of costumes for a long time. I've got, I think, 5 right now, and I'm just gonna keep them until they change the prices or whatever. I would love to find more money to do
They've
that.
really been dragging that out, haven't they?
It's
When
got-
didn't SEA get the change like 6 months ago? And
been a
every week since
while.
then, we've just been like, bro, is it going to be this week?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
KR
figure
got
out.
it almost a year ago now, right? And then SCA got it like 6 months ago.
I may start sniping costumes and holding on to them, and I'm just doing that for a bit while I just kind of fail stack. I don't really have another stack for a Tet neck, and so I think I'm gonna grind silver, save the black stones, enhance my ass off, and then just buy every costume I possibly can and just sit on that. Because like I've been playing this game for 4.5 years. What's waiting a couple of months to like get a 50% return?
So if they, what is the price now? It's 430 mil, I think, on SCA, right? For a costume.
It's 50% more than 330.
So I think the only issue with it is you're gonna get taxed on it. The second time you sell it, you get taxed.
No. I'm saving it for the crons.
Oh, you're saving it for the crons. I see. Okay.
Yeah, Cron discount.
I'm just gonna get fucking
I
paid
don't
on
think
crons.
they did a 50% increase though. I think it was
Yeah,
like
they didn't up.
increase.
I don't think they upped the crons though. I think the crons are the same.
No.
I'm pretty sure on SCA you still get the same amount.
So they only increased the silver price, and
Yeah, I think they only increased the silver price.
Expensive? That's
They hate us.
Interesting. I would imagine they'd get quite a bit of backlash for that, but who knows?
Yeah, I'd have to see. I have to double check, but I haven't seen that I don't think you, because I'm pretty sure it's 430 or 450 mil now to sell, but I don't know if you get 450 crons. Oh, okay. Someone's saying that they did increase the crons on KR too, so maybe it is more crons.
Yeah, my Kerr is like, why'd you bring this idiot on? He's wrong. Should have invited me instead.
I just said I don't think, Kerr. All right? That's
all right, what do we got next? So Black Friday stuff. Also, don't spend all your money on the early Black Friday because there's going to be a real Black Friday, and they always go ham for that. Apparently, just a quick note. Somebody said, I think in the a competing podcast or different podcast, that Pearl Abyss is losing money. I did a little bit of research on that, and that is not true. But their profits are down. Their profits are down by 50% Q2 of this year. So they were like 50 billion or something, and now they're 22. Or million rather, probably. But
damn, what do you think that was? Did you see which products were dropping? Like
all
if
of
it was
them.
mobile or PC?
They talked a lot about mobile. They talked a lot about mobile dying off.
I hard quit mobile. It would not surprise me if a bunch of people stopped spending money on mobile.
Yeah, they were talking about bringing out Succession on Xbox, and then trying to the questions coming back. I read some of the minutes from the shareholder meeting that they had, and a lot of the questions were about the fall off on mobile. But the company came out and just blamed COVID, like I'm sure everybody else is.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. So since everyone has an unprecedented amount of time to sit around playing video games at home, we're losing money? Hello? What?
But their profit margin, their net gain or whatever, is still like 18 or 20%, but it was like 40. So they're still making money, just as if anyone's really interested in that. But I would suspect that they are going to try to close out. I think their fiscal year is relatively close to the actual calendar year. I'd expect to see some massive discounts.
Do they show numbers for Shadow Arena, or is that just like we don't talk about that?
Yeah, dude. What are the profit margins on Shadow Arena?
Did they even mention it like in their reports? Like I don't know, how does that work? They have to admit that it's failing, right? Like they can't lie.
Owner's stepson failed project. I think it goes under that category. Minus $50 million.
So, I mean, if they are losing money, that's got to be at least a source of it in terms of that game has a whole team, and I would imagine is making very, very little to no revenue.
There's no way they're making money on that. They should shut that. They should have shut it down months ago. Like even the dedicated only streamers of Shadow Arena have quit playing it. Like I have no idea who boots that game up and why.
Still got a few hundred people who
Well,
have left it on or something.
It's not a few
they
hundred.
have
It's less
all
than
the
100.
Is
they
it
have all the
down?
mooses that wanted to try grab.
Well
Does the
played.
moose have a grab in Shadow Arena?
It does.
It does. It's pretty strong.
So next we have the 50% drop rate still going. Moreland hasn't played the game, so he doesn't know about that. I actually
No, I know about it. I was complaining about the fact that it doesn't boost Arsha again. I think it's so funny every time they do these events that they just make all the servers equal to Arsha, and Arsha gets no boost.
you roll out to Arsha for it on from time to time, or
Yeah, I mean, depending on what I'm doing.
I went out to. I normally do Sakraya during drop buffs, but I was tired of getting fucked by RNG, so I went out to the place where it blesses me, and I made a boatload of money, and I was pretty happy about it, but a little burnt out from grinding right now. A little burnt out on BDO in general the past couple days. I've just been kind of living in RBF trying to get better, so 2 weeks for a 50% drop rate's a long time. It stacks with castle buffs, right? Is that why Chonation has Kelfion? It's gotta be, right?
Yeah, it's back with everything else.
Buff, yeah, just not with Arsha.
That's a lot. Thanksgiving events, we've got the turkey back, the Cronstone turkey that runs around while you're grinding. That's been kind of fun. I've gotten like 50 Cronstones from killing a turkey that randomly un-RP like shows up at my Sakraya grind. What's a turkey doing underwater? Like, come on.
It's a magical turkey, Tim.
Yeah. Magic in my life. Magic in my life died a long time ago. Refer a friend events. I don't know what that is. Or what the rewards for it are, but I assume everybody's just spending $10 to refer themselves again on a dead Gmail account.
Oh, speaking of which, we got a huge RMT botting ban wave this week.
Oh,
which
that's
I'm
right.
sure had no connection to the fact that they did a free Game Pass event the week before.
True.
But yeah, they banned like 150 people or something, and they didn't give them, warnings or timeouts or any of that bullshit. Straight up banned them, so that was good.
Yeah.
I looked at the duo Seleth market immediately afterwards. It's still doing extremely well. So I don't know if that's just a sting operation at this point or what, but that's the RMTing still very much happening. Despite all the bans. So I don't know what's going on exactly, but at least they're banning people.
At least they're banning people.
They're only banning people that are showing up into their RMT Discord where they're entrapping people.
They're just sending out mass PMs on Discord, seeing response, getting their details and banning them.
They're like, it's like, nah, I'm good. It's like, but would you consider it? I mean, I guess. It's like, all right, that's all we need. Thanks.
Thanks, your bans. So I think that brings us to Global Labs, which should be kind of spicy here. Even if you guys have checked it out, I think we should all pull this up and kind of just go through it. Fairly detailed.
Separate link because the shit is. Oh wait, let me see if this one works. Oh, okay. I don't know why it's like the website is so buggy. When I click the sublinks on it, it gives me an error. But never mind, we're good.
I was gonna do RBF while we did this, but I realized that I actually want to focus on what we're talking about for a change. So I'm gonna go back to gathering. Also, I sorely need meat. Are you still life skilling or anything, Morland? You were talking for a couple weeks like you were gonna toy with that. That never come to fruition.
Yeah, well, I did all the work to get the master match log, so I was gonna push guru hunting just for the sake of doing it. Not really planning on making a bunch of money doing it, but it was something to do. get one of my old icons back. And then I was going to start getting back into cooking just for the sake of building like a really good cooking tool for the website, since the node tool is pretty much done now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, at some point I will get back into that, but I've just been way too distracted with Demon Souls and other shit.
That's fair. That game looks super fun. It makes me wish that I played. We'll talk about it more later, but I've been lurking you playing that quite a bit. So, all right, hopefully I stalled enough for everybody to get this shit pulled up. So it starts right off. This is Global Labs, and I'll put a link in my chat for everybody if you want to follow along. This is a lot of stuff that I have been, just to prepare everybody who may not like my voice or my takes, a lot of stuff I've been asking, crying, screaming, and left the BDO partner program for and over. So I'm probably going to have some hot takes and heavy opinions on this. So I'm going to kind of direct us through here. Node war changes. I may read most of this verbatim. The node war, which was held around specific node select for each day of the week, will now proceed in their territory unit. For example, on Monday, all nodes in Balanos, and on Tuesdays, all nodes in Serendia are held. So they're getting away from actual physical nodes, and it looks and sounds like that they are getting into like the territory building or area thing. A start node is set in each territory. If you participate in the first node war and capture a node, you must participate in the starting node battle. After a successful capture, you can gradually expand your power to other nodes connected to the occupied area, which is what I just said. For example, if a guild occupies the starting point of Balanos Forest in the next node war, you can challenge the connected node Bartali Farm. Okay, so they still are using the node system. If a guild has captured Balanos Forest and is challenging Bartali Farm, Guild B can challenge all nodes that Guild A is occupying or attacking. As a result, your attack and defense strategy becomes very important.
Is this the thing they talked about like a year ago, where you have to like take node 1 and then take node 2 and then take node 3, and you are supposed to clear the whole board or some shit?
But apparently, if you're getting a starter node and the person who owns the connecting node to the starting node owns a bunch of nodes, you can attack any one of those?
They're all attackable.
Okay.
And the whole region is the war zone now.
So it's like a territory war every time?
Yeah.
That's awful.
They have to basically defend all of it.
That sucks.
Do you think they're ever going to turn off safe zones in node war areas?
They have, I believe. Oh, wait, let's see. They turned off. Let me see. They do mention that in here.
Okay, let me keep just running through this. I want to be. This is really important. So if you guys don't mind, I just want to roll through it. A guild A has captured Balanos Forest. Challenge. Okay. As the entire territory has been changed to node war battle area, participants can now battle with each other anywhere in the Black Desert world. However, safe areas are still excluded from this rule. So they can pick what part of the Balanos territory the fight happens in, or it's the entire Balanos territory, like if it was a territory war.
So, yeah, it's kind of like that. Like you have your fort. This is how it sounds to me, because I'm also just learning based on what they're saying. But it sounds like, let's say a Cho Nation takes node on Monday, node A, and then they have to expand to node B on Tuesday. You can, as whatever snake, can go attack node A or node B. They're both in the war zone, and they can try to defend both by just moving between the two.
So, okay, so they've got 4 forts.
That's what it sounds like to me, yeah. It sounds like they have multiple forts that they're going to have to defend.
Interesting.
And then the entire region is the node war zone. So you're never going to die outside of the node war zone as long as you're in Balanos. Unlike now where it's like node to node to node. The whole thing is a war zone. So if I run into someone at the very edge of Heidel and like on either side, you're going to always respawn at your fort.
That kind of fixes people in T1s going outside of range to PA and shit.
Was that a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, there's some real sweaty behavior in T1s where people they would turtle right on the zone line with all their like full, like 300 AP gear on and try to bait people to come fight them.
But those people got like Yeah, that was it. Like the T1 scene didn't put up with that too much, but okay, so that's really cool. So remember back in the days before like server merge where guilds would own multiple territories and they'd like bounce back and forth to defend them. It's kind of like that, but on a proper scale in the same. That's cool.
On
So-
the same channel.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to be a node war guild, you can be a node war guild and have like team A, B, and C defending. You know, like your big team is up front. You know, and you've got. Oh man, this is cool. This is cool. If that's how this plays out.
Yeah.
What's the win condition? Do they just have to get one of the forts? Do they have to get multiple forts down? Like, are there like degrees of winning where if you get one fort, you push them back?
It doesn't specify exactly, but I believe it's just they just lose that specific fort. You win it.
The next line is the maximum number of nodes a guild can occupy in a territory is 10. So it sounds like you
Wow.
might be able to lose multiple a night.
That is kind of cool because like that's how it used to work with overextending on castles. You'd get
Right.
guilds that would get cocky and get 2, and then they'd hold 2
Right.
for a while, and then eventually they'd go for that third one, and the whole server would be like, "All right, fuck you!" Like and then they would lose all 3 in one night, and like, so yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting.
This is kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah, Tim's gonna get to it as he reads through, but they are bringing that back, Moreland, for Siege. You can have multiple territories.
Castles. Okay.
Okay, so all right, yeah, spoilers. For reorganized content, a separate video guide will be produced to help you understand more. Okay, great. You can enjoy the Node Wars in Kama, a land that preserves natural beauty. You can experience battles with guild members in a terrain that you have never experienced before. Vast grasslands, dense forests, and ancient ruins. So they're finally bringing wars to Kama.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you haven't built. You guys haven't built bases, have you?
No,
Never
I
step,
refused.
Never step.
Do you have any idea?
It'll be
Building a
rough.
base, dropping a node in Medaya if you don't have a map that somebody else made. Woo!
But let's pretend for a minute that we don't care about the builders. The fights sound really fun.
There's going to be some fights up in the Voltara Mountains that put Medaya Mountain forts to shame.
You're thinking of Valencia Part 1.
Yeah, sorry, Valencia Mountain forts.
Yep.
Or because they say ancient ruins, so it sounds like maybe we'll be fighting a little bit in and around Gyphon. Sounds kind of fun.
Sounds like they've been losing money recently, and they're trying to open up this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously though, seriously.
Thanks, BDO Mobile. We're getting all our devs back, dude.
Well, Xbox console makes a ton of money, and they're not going to get a damn thing that we don't get because we'll burn their place down. We'll find out where they live, you know? Not us personally, but the community has that toxic propensity. Anyway.
Uh-huh.
Potion Shop will do it. The existing concept of tiers will be maintained, and the entire area of Balanos will be changed to Tier 1 Beginner. I don't like that.
Yeah. That part's interesting because that's not just Tier 1, it's Beginner.
So
all
Balanos is
Tier
an
1
expert.
beginner.
People are afraid to place in Balanos because they need to have tribal knowledge of where to be able to place. I would say it's Tier 1 expert, personally. But, you know.
That's like the 230 AP cap, right? 230 beginner? Or is
Fuck
it 210?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I'm excited. I can't wait to do T1s again.
You know what? You're banned from Aftershock.
Aftershock is going to be the premier T1 guild, right? Since Balanos is the only territory you're ever going to place in. You're going to take over that whole scene. New requirements for Aftershock is going to be 230 AP. And what's the DP cap on T1s?
Yeah, your gear cap does seem a little bit high.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I see why people have been complaining about how high the requirements
That
are.
was
It makes
Nerds
no
and Words,
sense.
episode 26. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. The number of nodes, tiers, and taxes for each territory has been readjusted. Okay, so days of the week. Monday is going to be Balanos and Kelfion. Tuesday is Serendia and Medaya. Oh, they haven't gotten rid of Medaya. Wednesday's Calpheon, Valencia, comma. Thursday's Balanos and Medaya. And then Friday, Serendia, Valencia, comma. And then Sunday is a free-for-all, all regions. I like that. That's interesting.
So here's the thing that's confusing about the territories on the days of the week is, let's say if in our example before where a guild wins Balanos on Monday, how are they supposed to place on Balanos on Tuesday for the second node if Tuesday's only Serendia and Medaya? That part's kind of confusing to me.
They don't unless they have a starter node there or want to have a footing there.
So if they have a starter node, then they're able to? That's the only way? Or do they have to wait all the way until Thursday to do the second node on Balanos? That's the thing that I don't really get.
From the way I'm reading it, if you only have a starter node in Balanos, I think you can place on the starter node every day of the week. Or starter nodes. But if you win on Monday, then you're warring on Thursday, in Balanos. And then apparently
is it
Sundays.
10 forts total or 10 forts per territory?
It says
in a territory.
In a territory.
I think you're pretty much stuck
all fucking over the place. You can have like 50 forts if you go for every region.
Sounds like it.
Maybe. I wonder if you can, yeah. I wonder if it locks you out of building in other regions, though. It doesn't mention that.
I'd be surprised.
So, yeah,
so I think as we get into the territory wars, I think we're going to finally see that nodes build into territory wars. Let's keep reading.
Well, if it's the daily thing and the only wars on Monday and Thursday are T1s, then isn't that kind of a incentive for big guilds to place on T1s just for the hell of it? Just to have something to do on those days?
There's 2 territories on every day at least, minimum. So Calpheon is not only T1, so they'd place on Calpheon potentially.
Method of tax being acquired immediately upon capture. Now it's after capture, acquired at specific time every day when occupying the node territory. I like that. That's a good change. So instead of it being
like that change came from the packet manipulators.
No, I don't think it was like that. We've run into some trouble in the past with like the tax slider thing and stuff like that. There was some asshole GM who took over Calpheon that moved the sliders around and nobody knew what was going on with that. So that stirred up a lot of stuff and confusion. There's some but without the memes, there's some like really old school mechanics that don't make sense in 2020 BDO. That just seeing the day-to-day tax makes a lot more sense than either post or pre-payment. So I think that's a good bit of development. As a war hero, here we go, boys. Here we go. As a war hero, the way to participate in Node War Siege has been changed. Now, now each territory and node has a maximum score to receive the war heroes. I can read. This is just translated. The score is according to the equipment of the adventurer who wants to participate, and the point sum cannot exceed the maximum allowed. So you're injecting a specific amount of gear score. So if you bring Braxton and Silas and Zappian and all these big gear-carried people, not gear-carried, but people with a lot of gear, you can only have 3. But if you want to bring a 500 Papegas with no gear, then you could do that.
Yep.
How do the points break down? Is it a linear thing? Do higher gear scores count as more points?
Yeah, guilds more gear scores, more points, yeah.
Right. Guilds in possession of a territory have been changed so they can receive war heroes again. So it sounds like they're going to balance this all the way through. So it's not going to be, you can't just have merc carried guilds anymore. Thank God!
Interesting. So I wonder how many mercs you can fit if they're like stacked. Does it say any specifics?
It doesn't give the numbers, no, unfortunately.
Well, there's going to be a certain amount of points, so we need more information than like how many you can have, right? So if you can have 1 700 gear score person or 3 600s, you know?
Yeah.
It's probably going to be
This is a
something like
good
that.
change.
This
It's
is
also there's no limit on siege currently, right? Like there's zero limit.
you could have 99 mercs.
You could have 99 mercs. On this, you definitely will not be allowed to because you're going to have a gear score limit. Period.
The reason I gave up on Aftershock and just couldn't fucking give a shit anymore is it was 1 week of merking to kill somebody, and then a follow-up week of getting merked to be killed, and then the just insane toxicity that came after that. You know, oh, we fucking crushed you kids. It's like, yeah, you had 40 mercs. And then we show up with 20 or 30 mercs the next week, and we just say good fight. Anyway, but so I'm really fucking happy to see this.
Yeah.
It gives
So to
guild
clarify,
identity back.
Defending guilds will be allowed to bring in mercs as well now if you own a turret. So,
which is something for castles. That's a different conversation for castles, right? Because the castle scene will never really probably come to a conclusion on when or where there is a castle advantage. If there's a certain amount of guilds on this territory, it's advantage. But if they're out gear scored or not out gear scored, they've all got all these fucking excuses. But when it comes down to it, in general, holding a castle is an advantage because you can put all your witch wizards up on a high spot and cast down. And so that is going to be a topic of debate for the castle guilds to talk about.
Right.
I've been out of that scene for a while, so I'm going to leave it to them.
It doesn't mention it here, but someone is asking, what if a merc with 500 gear score during Node War switched to 660 gear score during Node War? So it's supposed to, it doesn't mention it on here, but it's supposed to work the same way that they have the RBF gear score thing that we don't have yet. Where once you're in, you can't change your gear. So if you merc in, you basically have to merc in with the gear you're going to use during war because that's all you can use. You can't take off or put on new gear while you're merked.
Cool. Yeah, that seems like it'd be an easy problem to go around.
Sounds like it's time to bring back those human damage builds. Am I right?
Human damage, PA outside of the... Now you have to go all the way to Valencia to PA1 for fucking T1 Node Wars. That sucks, dude.
Is that what Cupcake's gonna change his lawn build into? Is human damage? Dude, choice merking in is gonna be like... He's probably gonna be like one of 2 or 3 mercs in a guild. With 700 and whatever gear score. What's your gear score, Frosty?
It's a good question. It's pretty high. I think it's 661 or something, or it's 663. We do math. What's 294 plus 371?
I don't know. I've been drinking.
Let's see, 2 and 4 plus 371 says I can't merc. 665. I'm too much dead weight, dude.
Nobody would take a Kuno anyway.
True.
What'd you say, Moreland?
He needs to get one more gear score.
Oh my god.
Oh, right. No, dude, I can't. That's a good point. My next upgrade is going to be 3 gear score, so I can skip the devil number.
Get a Caphras level.
Get a Caphras level. Dude, consume flesh. Hail Satan. Come on.
Dude, I'm sick of grinding for Caphras. That feeling, when you're like full focus grinding for Caphras, it's actually terrible that your money is always at 0. I hate that feeling.
Can't you talk to chat or whatever? All right, let's keep going. Let's stay focused here. This is exciting. Okay, guilds in possession of territory. Balano, Serendia, Calphion, Medai, and Valencia have been changed so that one guild can control multiple territories at once. Wow. So this is going to really incentivize... This will probably incentivize, I hope, like Snake and Cho working against each other, seeing how many territories they can take, right? Maybe this breaks up the alliance idea. Possibly.
At the very least, more fights, right? Like, just this feels like it encourages more fighting, if nothing else.
This is cool.
Essentially.
But
especially because all these... Go ahead. Sorry. No, I was just going to say, all these changes kind of encourage people who are going to want to try out Node War and Siege again because of these changes.
Oh, for sure. The back end of this is, so let's say that, Cho and Snake don't want to, work together or have some shadow alliance or whatever terminology you want to use. They could also, Cho takes Balanos, Serendia, Calphion, and then Snake takes Medaya and Valencia, and they have a pretty easy time holding that. And there's only 2 territory guilds. But then I guess you could build I don't know. Let's keep reading and see how this is going to work out. So multiple guilds can hold multiple territories. As a reward for occupation of the Node War, merchant NPC trading exclusively with glorious warriors have been added. If you participate in a node, capture it, you can go to the merchant and purchase several items. Store, depending on node tier, much better items are provided from tier 2 higher. The benefits that the guild leader can get when winning a node battle and siege have increased significantly. The stats of the crown and the armor, the exclusive equipment, which are the privileges of the guild leader, lords and castle lords, who have won the preoccupation of each dominion, have been changed. Okay. So
Yeah,
the crown is an
they're
actual piece of armor.
Yeah, the whole set is wearable now.
Okay.
So the crown is equal to Pen Black Star helmet. I mathed this out. The stats are equal to a Pen Black Star helmet. And the armor, which is kind of insane, is equal to Tri Fallen God armor.
Okay.
So if
The
you win a
weapons and
territory,
accessories are all pens too, right?
so the crown and the armor are the things that you win that you just get for winning, so you don't have to pay for those. But all the accessories and stuff you can buy, yeah, are all also pen.
And is this just for the GM or?
Yes,
What?
those things are just for the GM. The normal guild members can buy stuff with their own silver, but it's not these pen accessories and stuff. It's like elixirs and war stuff. At least that's how they describe it. So all these pen accessories that you can buy with guild funds are exclusively for the GM, and they're all like rental gear, like they expire after 7 days or whatever.
That's weird. So it was cool. Like the costume used to give you 1,000 HP, and so if you did like a guild AOA or something, you'd like just grief your guild with it. And then the helmet had no DP, but it had free world chat. And from the Korean pictures here, it seems that there is no line for free world chat anymore.
Oh no, they nerfed the helmet.
They nerfed the helmet for Aftershock.
Depending
That's
on
true.
who you are, yeah. So.
Did they?
Wow, you
they
really
fixed
think
that,
that's
right?
funny? You really think that's funny, don't you, Morlin?
Yeah, I think it's just too bad, man.
Yeah.
You're the leader of the region. You should be able to broadcast to your people.
I got 10 cents. I'll be all right.
Oh, dude.
They fixed
Face
that
up on the
bug, right?
wall.
Where if you just leave it on, even if it's expired, it still works. Mine stopped working a long time ago.
Years ago.
Yeah,
They fixed that a long time ago.
too bad. That was kind of fun.
That is a bunch of really good changes.
If your GM is a shot caller, this is a huge buff for you, because if your shot caller can have like full pen accessories during a node war while they're shot calling.
No. So if you win a territory, you're not. Wait, hold on.
You would never be able to use the gear in a war.
Is that still how it works, though?
Well, it doesn't mention that you can't war if you own a territory, but I assume you probably still can't, because that would be a pretty big bullet point.
But then how could you own multiple territories at the same time?
Where you could place multiple territory forts, but I don't think you would ever you can node war while holding a territory unless they're going to change that. That'd be a huge change.
I think you're going to be able to node war in other territories while you hold those territories, because I think you have to have a footholding in each territory to be able to drop on that territory.
Well,
is that how it works?
I read all the information that they gave us.
Yeah. Here's the other thing, though, Moreland, is the accessories are not bound to territory. The GM can buy them, and certain ones are unlocked by winning nodes as well, as long as it's tier 2 or higher. Only the crown and the armor are bound completely to siege. But all the pen accessories and stuff, they can buy them for node wars.
Yeah, because before the 1,000 HP on the chest, you couldn't ever actually use in a war because it would expire right before the next conquest.
So the weapons and the accessories, you can choose one of those 6. I think it's an offhand, main hand, awakened weapon, or a pen accessory. If you own a T2 node or above, you can choose one of those using guild funds. Is the way that it reads.
All you have to do is get a T2, and you can buy a Pen Black Star Awakened weapon.
I think winning wars is going to be a little bit harder than what it used to be.
It says this exclusive equipment and accessories are for a 7-day period, and only the guild leader who has succeeded in the 2nd tier or higher can acquire them. But I don't know how much. It doesn't say their price, because they have to spend guild funds on them So you could just be like, dude, why are you wasting billions of our guild funds every day, and you're still bottom fracking? You fuck. The hell.
I mean, obviously, you just G kick anyone who dares to question you, right?
Yeah, true, dude. All of your
Obvious.
viewpoints are based on Aftershock and the way they run things.
So there's a bunch of blue text here. I'll kind of skim through here. Maybe we can get a little more context. The reorganization focused on two main topics. One is to add strategic options to participation in node battles so that various patterns can unfold. And the other is to increase loot that can intensify your desire for victory. Okay, so that's exactly what we've been screaming for years. As the method of occupying node has changed to sort of a eat the ground rule. You guys familiar with the eat the ground rule?
Yeah, hold on, let me look that up. Eat the rule.
Guilds with a larger number. Okay, you're really doing that. Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, it says almost everyone has dropped some food on the floor and still wanted to eat it. If someone saw you drop it, he or she might have yelled 5-second rule. This is so-called rule. It's okay to eat if you pick it up in 5 seconds or less. So maybe they're talking about the 5-second rule. I have no idea, dude. That sounds like a poor translation, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, it is, right? So the eat the ground rule. Guilds. Merlin's about to die.
I think the translation is the best part of these patches. Like, I don't actually care what goes into the game. I just enjoy reading the translations.
Yeah, you want to play some Eat the Ground after this? All right, I'm mature enough for this, I promise. As a method of occupying the nodes has been changed to a sort of eat the ground rule, guilds with a larger number of members can benefit greatly through gradual expansion. On the other hand, we tried to compensate the imbalance according to the size of the guild as much as possible by allowing guilds with a somewhat insufficient number of people to take advantage of sufficient gaps through strategic selection. It sounds like a corporate memo. In particular, since all lands in the state are now node battle areas, the limit on the number of participants will be lifted at all nodes except for Tier 1. However, this part will be adjusted in response to the opinions of the global adventurers. Along with this, the total number of nodes...
Wait, how do I become a global adventurer? I want to give them my opinion.
Korean. You have to be Korean. Along with this, the total number of nodes where the base war takes place and the expansion and reduction will be flexible and frequent depending on the size of participation in the node wars by country? None of that made sense. On the other hand, in addition to the basic tax that can be obtained when the node war is successfully captured, the privilege to use the merchant PC been added, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. For the reorganized battle node, we plan to actively collect opinions by providing a test environment to global adventures through Black Desert Lab. And based on that feedback, will be introduced to live server after improving its completeness. However, as the Black Desert Lab is currently preparing for World Siege War, we will provide a test environment after that. Ask for your patience and understanding. So this is going to be a ways out. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they mentioned, like, gave some example prices, like numbers on the amount of money you're going to win.
On the other hand,
if they're buffing it.
The reinforcements to the benefits related to the guild leader will be updated on live servers as soon as possible, regardless of whether or not the Node War reorganization is introduced. In addition, we're reviewing the 100 and 200% skills of all characters. Only characters with large differences in performance will be upgraded. In addition, the 200% Black Spirit skill will have a rather long cooldown, as it is an influence of large-scale battles. In addition, for some skills with strong influence, such as Witch and Wizard protection area, Valkyries, PA, etc., we will be considering a way to adjust it. Any comments on this part are also appreciated. They are taking a look at PA.
They're just looking at it. No actual changes.
Yeah, no changes. They had a sample they had an example of an idea and they removed it from the translation on Global Labs, which
Yep.
BDO Foundry updated. But it was you can't get PA a second time for a duration.
Personal cooldown of receiving it.
Yeah.
Which would be an excellent answer.
It's a start. Does it solve the problem?
It's a
It definitely lowers the importance, and it makes it like, it depends how long the cooldown is, right? If it's long enough, it in theory could make it so that every guild wants one PA group, but that's it, because the rest would have
How
little to
often
no
do you guys
benefit.
catch 2-3 PAs in a row? Does that happen a lot?
yeah.
Am I just standing in the wrong
What?
place?
What?
I don't
No,
ever
that's
fucking get that many PAs in a row.
then you should
No.
you got to die in the ping. No, that is the problem. Is somebody coming in with, let's call it 4 or 5 seconds left on their PA. So you call PA 1, right? It's all right, we're going in, PA 1. Everybody in. Cast your shit. PA 2 cast now. PA 2 now. And that PA 2 group is supposed to all be in there, and that keeps the PA going. And then you have PA 3 and or your Desperado PAs after that. So everybody may not catch it every single time, but majority of your force is PA'd the entire time that you're in the base. That's why Chonation is unbeatable.
Never hits me twice around.
Chonation has like 7 PA groups, and there's no personal cooldown, so it's just blah, 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 blah. They've got like 40 seconds of PA. And in Siege, by the time you're ready to push again, most people's PAs are up.
When is there ever a 40-second engage, though? I feel like you go in, you miss your PA, you die, the counter's over, you have red text or you have blue text. I don't know.
Well, so Siege
I just don't know if a personal cooldown, like, it's a fucking invincibility skill. They need to change the actual skill. I don't know if getting hit with it multiple times is, like, it's part of the issue, sure, I guess, but I don't feel like that's the substantial part of it at all.
No, but listen, so PA1, you call PA1 before you go in or as you go in, right? And then most people have that debuff. It's like Bloodlust from World of Warcraft. Most people have that debuff so they can't get it again. And so you still call PA2 just in case some stragglers didn't get it, or maybe the rat classes that are coming in finally behind. But then there's no need for PA3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You save those if you still have them for the next round. Yeah, go ahead, Frosty.
Well, I mean, I guess if you miss the first round.
Paint a more realistic scenario. Let's say like that happens in every single war, even if it's not Cho. Let's just say you have 3 PA groups because you have, I don't know, 16, 17 wizards or whatever.
Right, most guilds have.
If I engage early on in a war during the 5-second or 10-second respawn timer and I PA 1, my whole team gets it. And let's say the personal cooldown ends up being the same duration as PA. Now PA 2 and 3 are completely irrelevant because even if we wipe and lose our respawn and our next engage, none of our team can be PA'd. So it would only be once every time, every 2.5 or 5 or 3 minutes or whatever the cooldown is on PA, if that makes sense.
People are chaining PAs for tens of seconds. That's the problem.
Even if it's not back to back, though, you wouldn't have it on your second engage or potentially third engage in some of these smaller scale wars, which would be really nice. That like, okay, they blew their PA engage. The next 3 or 4 fights, they're not going to have PA. Now's our chance. Whereas if they have enough wizards in Witch, they can kind of cycle it every single time they engage. Even if they lose or wipe, they're going to have PA again because they have a second group and a third group and a fourth group or whatever. So it doesn't solve it completely, Moreland. Your point is definitely well taken, but it's a huge step, in my opinion, in a direction.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I think it's crazy how blatantly over the top busted that skill is. And it's taken them this many years to solve 20 or 30% of the problem, maybe. And that change isn't even for sure, right? That got redacted already.
Yeah, apparently they got some backlash because they removed it from the idea pool. I guess.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, I totally agree that it helps, but I don't think it solves even half the problem with PA, and they're not even committing to it. So I'm just not holding my breath here.
Oh man, if I was a PA, if I was a BDO partner, I would probably be hitting up my Discord and going, "Hey, so that thing that was in the global patch notes, we really want to see that fleshed out and come to fruition."
So, what about this? if let's say it's it matches the time of PA, wouldn't it encourage guilds to start getting something other than wizards and witches past 2 PA groups instead of having 4 or 5 at the very least?
Yeah, and you wouldn't just take anybody. You wouldn't take just some 261 AP, 299 DP dent that's just happen to has a staff, right? They're just a PA bot.
Right. Plus, if that comes to fruition, people don't listen to calls and someone PAs themselves, they cuck themselves and 10 people.
Jackie Felix, if
Right?
this goes through, Jackie Felix is absolutely fucking dead.
Yeah, because you self PA, now you and whoever you hit with it, if you did it at the wrong time or selfishly, are no longer going to get PAs from the actual PA calls.
Work into a guild and then PA them off cooldown, off engage, and fuck all their. Maybe that's why they have to get rid of it, because of sabotage.
Yeah, NA's exploit community, we're in full force.
Don't get me fucking started.
It's such a stupid skill. I wish they would just literally delete it from the game.
It'd be a better game.
I wish they would go with my idea where if you're a wizard or a witch and you PA, you instantly die, but your team gets PA. You have to suicide yourself.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's like
That'll discourage people from wanting to play it.
Like a Star Trek episode, man.
But Tim, I don't want to die. Fucking PA or you're out of the guild.
I cry myself to
join if you kill yourself.
I cry myself to sleep every night because I have to command people to their deaths. The need of the many outweighs the need of the few. Oh man. Well, I like a area. I understand that they want to keep PA in for whatever ridiculous reason that is stuck in their head. I'm forced to respect it after all these years. And so a personal cooldown, the more that I think about it, wrap my head around it, along with reeling in the Merc system in an amazing way, at least the first stab at it, that makes me way more incentivized to go back to large scale PvP, quite frankly.
Yeah, actually, to your point, Moreland, like Mercs never listen to calls.
Ever.
So you'd actually have to think, like, dude, do I want to bring in Merc Wiz Witch? Because they're going to fuck up my PA rotations.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be paying my guys selfishly.
How to just Merc a bunch of Guardians and Zerkers instead?
Just Guardians and Zerkers. That fixes the problem, dude.
All right,
now we're all just knocked down. Instead of,
Jester Akota had a really good point. Imagine pushing Medaya Castle without PA. I think there may be a place for PA. That's an excellent point. That's actually an excellent point.
I get that. But couldn't Medaya Castle have a back and a side entrance too? Make it really hard to defend.
Why don't y'all just get some Pegasuses already? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about a suicide mission.
I bet that T10 Peggy can really get in there, dude.
You don't need PA, we have lawns. You just fly in.
I like how you identify as every class that you mention.
Yeah. I popped off on lawn for a little bit, and then they nerfed it.
We just fly in. We do that.
Yeah, I find that's a bad habit of mine. Even when I'm not playing class, I'm like, yeah, but we don't use murder and intent this way, and they're like, you don't play ninja anymore. Like,
it's actually it's a streamer thing too. I find out in the wild, I just say we instead of I all the time, and somebody who doesn't like watch Twitch is like, who the fuck is we? I'm like, oh, well, me, I guess. Anyway, so on the we have Hadoom Castle Ruins. So they're expanding that.
Oh. What do you guys think of the 100%, 200% thing?
Oh, good point.
Like they're going to put a cooldown on 200%, which that part I think is just good, right? Because the stupid Zerkers that exist. But apparently they're going to buff 100% and 200% that are very bad. At least that's the way they worded it. Only characters with large difference in performance will be upgraded. So people with useless alts will get buffed.
Hey, Suck Warrior.
Wait, what is the Suck Warrior alt?
It's like the pre-awaken 100% spinning slash, except it doesn't do anything. Yeah, you remember how in pre-awakening, Warrior had like one of the best alts in the game? It was like this long-range stun that did like 80% of your health bar. It's like that, except it doesn't do any of those things. It just sort of fizzles and does 0 damage and makes you feel like an idiot when you use it on accident.
Musa Dragon Bite. Oh my god. Well, obviously this is aimed at feeding all of your BSR berserkers, so I don't know, when something gets like that pigeonholed meta, like people are playing berserker just to do that shit, you got to do something about it.
Yeah.
So, I think that's without like being specific, without naming and shaming. I think that's what that's aimed at.
I mean, I think the concept of hundreds and 200s is really cool. Like, people should have the opportunity to get fed and make a big play, but it's clearly like wildly imbalanced right now as to whose skills are relevant and whose aren't.
And let's not forget Kuno, suck Kuno's 100%. That shit's nuts.
Okay. There we go. Look, what if they just removed rage transfer altogether? Do we need to be transferring rage to people? That should just be a self thing.
Should you have to have a full set of tongue rat accessories to get 200? Should they make it a thing? Like a set bonus?
Remove 200s from the game. They're silly anyway.
What?
Outside of the Zerker one, when do you ever see 200s that you're like, oh, that was a really cool play?
Well, that's what they need to change, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see what they have in
they've
mind
always
first.
been like, I feel like the 200% were always designed for that stupid Awakening trailer they come out with when they release a class, so they could just show it at the very end. You'd be like, whoa, what's all of that?
It's supposed to be a flashy, it's not supposed to be like good gameplay. It's just supposed to be a huge bomb that you drop and arbitrarily kill a bunch of people who have no counterplay. I think that they should make a 500% Black Spirit Rage that requires you to have 10 people feed you, and then just like bombs the whole node. It's like calling in a nuke after getting a kill streak.
I think it should be more like the rage transfer should be a constant thing. Like it's like a Dragon Ball Z thing where everyone's like, "Huh," and then they're like, "Huh," and then the caster's like, "Ka me," you know, it's like this big like ritual satanic thing that has lots of pentagrams and goats running around.
Wait a minute. For real though, what if you could only get Black Spirit Rage from kills and it reset to 0 when you died? So it actually was like calling in a nuke after getting a 25 kill spree?
I don't really want any Call of Duty mechanics in my game.
I think you should be able to get an AC 130 when you're doing Node Wars.
I'm picturing the Warrior 500.
Dude, have you seen Leighton in Shadow Arena? Get one of those as a kill streak reward. I'm fixing BDO Node Wars right now.
No, you're bringing Shadow Arena into it. 2 weeks ago, you're like, oh no, they're bringing Shadow Arena stuff in here. And now you're getting hard off of saying bring Shadow Arena into RBF? Come on, man. You can't have
parts of it, dude. Have you played the Leighton in Shadow Arena? It's fucking sick.
Oh, is that what it's going to be in the new mode? That Leighton from Shadow Arena?
I don't know, dude. That thing shoots laser beams.
Yes, then it is. It has lasers in the Battle of Thorn.
Yeah. Finally, some usefulness out of that Shadow Arena standalone.
I would be.
Can we design the Warrior 500% real quick? Can it be / and the only thing it gains is that it doesn't use stamina?
I think that might be too strong.
If we're doing a 500%, so this game's graphics are incredible. If we're doing a Warrior 500% spending slash, anybody that it hits, the character model gets cut, like sliced in half, and guts like come out. Like it's a really gory, like Doom Eternal kind of thing, you know? Let's go with Doom Eternal and not Call of Duty. Let's do that. Yeah, Mortal Kombat, you know? Just like you do the right, and the slice comes down, and like all the witch wizards in front of you just like slice in half, like when Trunks cut Vegeta or whatever, Frieza with his sword, and it like slid in half. Like it should be something like that. Let's get anime in this shit.
It pauses the entire Node War, zooms in on your character, and forces everyone to watch a cutscene of you cutting them in half.
It just get like a slow motion too. Just everyone cuts to this scene,
and a bunch of Korean text pops up all over the place.
Yeah, they can have really cool localization like that Mysterious Night, where it's like the Mysterious Night disappears with the sound along with the sound of galloping. Which doesn't make any sense. I hate that sentence.
Well, I mean, he disappears along with the sound of galloping. You would hear
It-
galloping if you were to ride off, would you
No,
not?
it implies that you've heard galloping the entire time he was there, and now the sound has disappeared.
It does. You're right. Fuck.
Ah, so the sound of the galloping is also disappearing along
Yeah.
with the night.
Not only did it disappear, but they went separate ways. Galloping went one direction, and the night went the other.
Thank God that hour-long, just consistent galloping. I never.
What region do you think that knight is from?
Oh my God, Moreland.
Skill instructor, isn't he? I don't know.
What's his name again?
Yeah.
So, I think he's the skill instructor up at where's that stupid place that used to be for skill points? The Skeleton Zone, Soldier's Grave. Isn't it the same dude?
Oh my God, guys.
I don't know. Is it? I never paid that close of attention.
Should move on to the Hadoom server.
Yeah, do that. I'll be right back.
All right, Hadoom server castle ruins. The ruins of Serendia were engulfed by Hadoom. So basically, the Al-Rundi area is now a high-level zone. It doesn't say what the AP rack is for it, but it looks like it's pretty tough. The trash is worth 16.1k, drops blackstones, armor stones, dust, and then some special loot that they haven't told us yet. And it has two mechanics where you can get a scroll, RNG drop scroll while grinding there. When you open the scroll, it spawns 15 elites around the map, and after you kill them all, Al-Rundi appears and you fight him for extra loot. It says it's a 3-person party spot, or at least
like
people to deal with the powerful soldier.
So it's basically the Turos event. You have a drop that summons some ads, and then you kill the ads, and it summons the boss, and then the boss has, I assume, a higher loot table. I like that.
And the ads even have the yellow laser that the Turos has on all of them.
They basically just made another Turos location, didn't they? They're pumping these out pretty quick, so I imagine there's going to be a little bit of copy pasting happening.
I don't know how different they all have to be either, too, you know?
Yeah, true. I mean, all of our previous grind spots have been exactly the same, so.
Yeah, this one's kind of nice. I mean, this is the first one that they've mentioned you definitely need a 3-person party for the powerful soldiers, but I don't know. I watched a Lon do the whole thing solo from Global Labs, so I don't know. If you're a Lon, you could do it alone.
Family shared inventory. It's kind of cool. I don't know, just good quality of life kind of thing, right? Food, non-medicine, companion animal food, recovery of worker behavior. So beer, pet food. I don't know what non-medicine means. All your cron meals, and then like quest items. What are other order documents? That's got to be like boss scrolls, right?
Yeah. I think the non-medicine is potions because it doesn't let you move your infinite pots either.
Okay, non-medicine. Got it.
Any non-medicines, dude? Anything in your first aid kit you can't bring along.
All right, so you get.
I feel like the whole thing is perfect for potions, and you can't use
100 weight? That's
100
useless.
weight. Yeah.
Literally garbage.
I don't even know if that's like 1,000 pet food.
It's hey, like well,
500.
That's like 300 chicken, dude.
Oh no,
that's not gonna feed my workers.
It's 100 chicken.
Chicken's pretty heavy, man.
I don't know. It's weird. It's so limited.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Just buy a maid. One maid is more effective than this entire bag.
Apparently, it's 300 chickens. We ran the numbers.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, I thought you said 100.
Yeah, I thought it was going to use the same weight system as a warehouse. It seems so weird. Like 100 is so little. How many giant straps is that? Is that even a lot of giant straps? Isn't it only like 100?
I just grabbed all that stuff out of the CM with a CM market made.
Yeah. Worthless content, apparently.
The central market storage is family storage.
Yeah.
If you put 200 drafts in there, you're going to be overweight.
So apparently, this is something that Potion Shop has talked about, but the item increase scroll changes to where it works similar to Agris, where you can you turn it on and off in the middle of one, or
can. So it's literally a pool that's going to have a separate interface that you can just feed it points by popping loot scrolls and turn it on and off whenever you want.
So here's the really important question I have: is what's going to be my excuse when people come up to me for duel for spot?
Oh yeah, people can't say that they have a scroll anymore. Oh no.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to keep pretending I'm piloting.
But you could do the I always use the I just dueled for spot and won it. Let me grind for a little bit and then I'll duel you. I feel like that works sometimes. They're like, that's understandable.
You could tell them your dog just died.
Dude, I'm gonna do that all this week. When somebody comes up and says duel for spot, I'm gonna tell them my dog died. I'm gonna report back next week on how it goes.
And every single time I go up to someone at Star's End, they're always like, I have 20 minutes left. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't, so let's fight. And then they act like I'm an asshole.
One of the biggest questions with this is, what if, as Dread King in chat words it, what if they fuck you on the loot scroll conversion rate though? So they say that it's going to be an unattainable amount of extra points. So if you were to pop a loot scroll, because the question is like, well, if I just use a loot scroll and I'm a striker, because strikers are way more efficient than like a Kuno on a loot scroll, would I get more extra trash because of the amount of mobs I can kill on a striker versus what a Kuno would get, right? And they're saying it's a point that's unattainable by characters. So it's like basically you're just going to get more for a loot scroll, more trash in total than you would currently in game.
All right, so let me read what they put in here. The ability to use item drop increased scrolls by converting it into points has been added. When defeating monsters, you can increase item drop and increase the number of items acquired by consuming points. Item drop increased points are consumed differently depending on the monster. You can recharge points using the item drop increase scroll. So you can charge your Agris for scrolls with 50,000 for a 30-minute, 100,000 for a 60-minute, 100,000 for an event 60-minute, and then 200,000 for an advanced loot scroll.
So this is actually a big buff to advanced scrolls, it seems like. Or am I, wait, maybe not.
Ostensibly, no. I don't think so.
Because they have 3 stages of how it works. That
right, I'm just thinking of in terms of how much loot you would actually get per scroll.
Well, let me finish this
before
thing.
You would get more loot from a blue scroll, but people would use advanced scrolls, just to get the grind out of the way faster.
So disabled points are not used. Stage 1 points are consumed, and you can receive the effect of an increased item drop rate by 100% and increasing item drop quantity by 50%, right? So a blue is stage 1, and then stage 2 is a yellow. Points cannot be activated in situations where existing item drop increase scroll buff is being received. So it sounds like you're going to be able to elect into this. When the item drop increase points are activated, the existing item drop increase scroll buff cannot be received. You can check the item drop increase points consumed by killing monster in each hunting ground in the adventure guide after the official server update. So we'll be able to check to see if it's efficient. There'll be a guide out in 2 days, 2 hours on where you should pop a loot scroll and where you shouldn't.
Right. In their little, I'm just going to TLDR the blue part, but it basically says the efficiency may vary depending on growth or hunting ground or the adventures, but compared to the general method, it will be designed to a level that cannot be reached. So basically, it's not going to be less efficient to do this. But
anybody want to take bets?
Yeah, there's a chance it will be, but you have the choice to still use loot scrolls if you don't want to use this system.
It came down to ALS and not using ALS came down to did you get even or odd crash drops at the grind spot, right? It's one or the other. Star's End gets even and then Sakurai gets odd, or the other way around. And that matters on if you use Agris and or advanced loot scrolls and shit. There's no way they get this right. There's no way.
Yeah, this would be a great opportunity for them to look at how the item quantity calculation actually works based on rounding up and rounding down, because it is pretty janky at the moment and pretty arbitrary.
And a PSA for everybody listening: Advanced Loot Scrolls and Agris has always stacked. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Now, remember, only because of the rounding thing made it look like they didn't in some spots.
Always.
Since they round down, screw you over.
Always has. So, a lot of people still don't know that.
Dude, people say it too. When they say it to me, they say it so viciously. Like, they don't stack. You're an idiot. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Why aren't you using Agris? Well, I save my Agris for like 80,000 and then I pop an ALS with it. But those don't stack. Why does anybody watch you, idiot? Holy shit. I'm like, well.
Wait, are you saying they stack multiplicatively?
Not multiplicatively, but you get more loot.
Wait, why would you save it if it's not multiplicative, though?
Oh my god, you get...
But he likes saving. It makes him feel good.
It does. I just knock it out all at once at maximum usage instead of...
You gotta use it at Taro.
Like I don't know. So it's probably there's a more efficient way to do it, but it does stack. I like saving it, popping a yellow loot scroll, and that's the only time I use my yellow loot scroll. I just get paid, and then I move on with my life.
So when people are asking you why you're saving it, you don't actually have a reason. So they have a genuine question, and you're just shouting at them.
You ever watch my stream? No, it's not like that. They go, it doesn't stack, you're wasting it. I'm not wasting it. I just want to do it all at once. I walk away with like 13,000 Sakraya trash or something. Feels good.
Okay. That's true. Yeah, it does feel better.
I know like yellow loot scrolls are relatively inefficient, but there are times where I'm just like, man, I just got 150 mil raw silver. This feels pretty good.
Right, and then I stack that with Agris, and I don't have to worry about it. I'd wait for it to fill up, and hopefully this adds some sort of easier efficiency to this, because I really don't want to keep using yellow loot scrolls. I actually really hate them. Fuck, now I'm rethinking.
Well, it's the same. You're going to have to choose between regular loot scroll or yellow loot scroll, stage 1 or stage 2.
Well, they're telling us that it's all going to be different, and it's going to be obviously more efficient to use the point system, so... All right.
It's going to be like before, where if the stage 2 will be double the cost in points, but it will not actually double your output. So it's like you're paying a penalty if you have a shitload of points. If you're someone who buys loot scrolls every time they're in the market or whatever, then or on the Pearl Shop, then you would go for that. But you're paying extra for that second stage, than you are for the first stage.
Yeah, I'll probably feel better about it if I can turn both on and off. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, you can. Obviously. It looks like you can disable or enable whichever stage you want.
Obviously, I have to rethink my grinding strategy with all that anyway, but I felt good just clearing it all out and using an ALS and getting, almost 200 mil in trash.
Probably going to be fucking insane, right?
Turos was insane.
Isn't it like by far the most Agris efficient spot in the game right now?
Yeah, by...
So if they do similar conversions, the loot scrolls at Turos are probably going to be absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, but can you imagine grinding that spot?
No, it still won't be enough for me to actually go there. I'm just saying. The people who do like it are going to be very happy.
You guys don't like Turos?
No, I hate it.
Yeah, I put the conversion someone put in chat, if anyone wants it as a reference. So you could kind of see how much trash and how it affects you at different levels with different scrolls and Agris.
My favorite...
It's all like just math. You just have to remember that any half trash is always rounded down. That's how they screw you.
Right, that's it. Thank you. My favorite grind session at Turos was with you when we were like doing our first date thing. If I don't have somebody interesting to talk to for a duo grind, I don't really want to fuck with it.
Yeah, Turos was great for the first like 30 minutes, and then I never want to go back there again.
We were making like 1,600 trash per hour. It's so bad.
Why don't you? Is it because of the CCs, or what about it don't you like?
We just didn't care.
It's a combination of the CCs and the pulling. It's just not chill at all. You have to stand in like the perfect spot between the two poles. You have to have a right amount of ranged ability. Things leash constantly if you're not like positioned perfectly. And because you have to be positioned perfectly, you can't get behind the mobs. So you're always like getting CC'd and not getting back attacks. I don't know, just nothing about it feels good to me. I feel like I can't be efficient there. I'm always handicapping myself in order to like keep the pole positioned right.
I feel like people put too much pressure on the polls. There's a rotation there where there's literally only one poll and the other 9 packs are just 3 packs and you just kill the 3. And I feel like that's the most chill way to do it.
Then you're grinding in half speed, right? I mean, when you could be double pulling, why would you do single pulls?
That
Like,
9
yeah, it's
pull
more
is
chill.
nuts.
I don't know. I'd love to see a difference because the people that I know that grind in main rotation on mountain only do the 1 pull, the 7 pull, and they're getting like the same amount of trash as anybody else I've ever seen. So I'd have to see someone like show that the double pulls are better. Because the amount of time it takes, and if you mess up one, it fucks up your like whole like you have to spend 30 minutes making it up. I actually think the 3 pulls are generally better. I don't know.
Maybe it's evolved since I went there, but that first week it was just miserable.
It just depends. I don't know. It's an alright spot. I just hate being CC. Ugh, I hate it.
So the rest of it, like guild boss Farah changes, Karanda Heart recipe, being able to grind it into massive pure magic, and then a new racetrack. For what? I don't even know what this is.
Did we ever figure out what the deal is with Karanda's Heart? Is it going to actually replace Garmoth, or does it have less crystal slots, or what's happening with that?
1 slot, and
1 slot.
based on this Karanda Heart,
offhand, it's the same, right?
it can't. I don't think it could be used in offhand. It's only for
awakening.
Okay, that makes more sense. I thought I read both tooltips on it.
Maybe it's going to be common and cheap because I can't imagine you grinding up a 1 bill item for 20 masses of pure magic. So apparently it's a common drop if this is an option that they're adding to make it more valuable.
I mean, it could just be a silly conversion. They do that all the time with items in this game where there's an option that's like just clearly bad that no one would ever do.
The other option is 600 mystical spirit powder, which is like to recharge your Alkstone twice. Hey, I got Karanda's heart. My Bell's heart is set for 2 full run throughs.
Amazing.
I wonder if that's a manipulation that's actually spirit dust. So that would make more sense. Kind of.
So I'd rather forego the rest of the global patch notes here that don't really matter to just kind of ask each one of you what you feel generalistically of the direction of like node wars and all this stuff in the past couple patches, like the direction of the game. I don't know how to phrase that correctly, but like I feel like this is, and maybe it is because they were starting to lose profit or whatever and they want to blame it on COVID, but I feel like a lot of really good shit's about to happen and we might hit a stride of BDO that's pretty damn good. You guys feel that same way, or am I being optimistic?
I think there's a chance that it happens. A lot of this stuff for me is still very wait and see, but yeah, I mean, there's a chance that the new Node War is good. There's a chance that Thornwood is really good. A lot of this stuff that we've been anticipating for so long easily could save the game. I just, with the track record that this company has, I'm very cautious.
It's not enough for you to like actively get out there and start grinding your gear just in case it is good? You want to be a little gear cured maybe?
No, because here's the thing, like in order for me to get excited now and be like, oh man, I really gotta go and push 700 gear score, I've got to be like overpowered for Thornwood Castle, I'd have to be at least like 80% sure that they were gonna nail it, and I think I'm more like 20% sure.
Okay.
You don't want to get enough gear to one-shot people with Spinning Slash?
I do if it happens, but right now I'm at the point where I think there's like a 1 in 5 chance that they nail it and a 4 in 5 chance that they botch it. So that's not enough for me to be like addicted to the game again.
All right, fuck it. I'll be the White Knight. We've been complaining about PA for 4 years. We've been complaining that Node Wars are stale for 4 years, that Siege is stale for 4 years, and they're kind of addressing all of those things in some way or another. And they're changing a lot of stuff that I think is actually incredibly interesting. So for me, I am feeling very positive about these changes because I think it's going to encourage more fighting. It's going to encourage more classes to be recruited to different guilds, and I kind of miss Node Wars right now. Like I really don't participate in Node Wars, even though it's my favorite part of the game because
Mhm.
I'm tired of being PC'd by people that don't know I'm there, and also killed by them because every skill they have is on a really short cooldown that AoE and kills me, and they're unkillable. So yeah, for me, I'm kind of excited by it, and I think it is going to add a lot of strategy and stuff. I hope the rewards and everything is good, and there's definitely a chance all of this ends up sucking. Their implementation is definitely a 50-50 chance, but we will see. I'm kind of hyped for it.
I wish it was a 50-50 chance. So I miss Node Wars too, man. And the reason I miss Node Wars is because Pearl Abyss suddenly and arbitrarily destroyed T1s for no reason.
Yeah.
When they were in the best spot that they'd ever been in. They fixed them, and then a week later they completely broke them. And so that's I feel like that's just what happens in this game. As like Thornwood Castle, yeah, it could be good, but in all likelihood, based on what this company does, they're going to do it 95% right, and then they're going to add some ridiculous mechanic that makes it unplayable in the 11th hour. And so I would love for that to not happen. I'm waiting to be proven wrong, but for me, it's still just wait and see.
So I have way less hope for Thornwood Castle than I do what was outlined in the Node War section here. I think we still have to kind of my concern with the Node War / territory revamp is going to be how the community reacts to it, because my favorite phrase is they like to turn the sandbox into a cat box, right? So their propensity might be how fast can we destroy this. So that's my concern. But even without PA changes, I'm pretty excited about the Merc idea where there's like points, kind of like the aggro system or whatever. And if that works, whatever. If they want to keep rolling that out for everything, that alone by itself is going to make Balanos and Serendia way more fun. And then, even owning a guild that wants to participate in it from time to time. And then the other side of it is, if they really do put a personal PA cooldown in, that's a pretty decent game changer. That's a pretty decent game changer while still having access to it. If Medaya Castle is forever what it is.
The thing is with that change is that's like the bar for me now because they accidentally put that in there. So whatever change is coming, that's like the bare minimum. It better be at least that or something better.
Yeah.
Because I'm super disappointed if they're like, well, we increased the cooldown to 3 minutes and 20 seconds on PA.
Yeah, there's no way that's what they do, right?
It reminds me of the time where they put super armor on the warrior grab, and then they just crossed it out, and then they just never did it, even though it was on the patch notes. Do you guys remember that?
I'm just thinking about a world where warrior has super armor on their grab.
Yeah. We remember, I mean, there's a lot of fun things in there, like Crouching Wolf stiffness being removed from Striker in 2 separate patches, and yet it still stiffens on 3 stacks.
I don't understand. That's fine. That's literally fine.
How you feel about it, but it's weird that they put it in the patch notes that they removed it 2 separate patches on North America, and it's still
somebody's got a weird, strong opinion about something that's like kind of
example. It's an example of something weird that they do.
Fair enough.
I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of excited by this. Someone gave this chart. Someone did a breakdown, by the way, of the loot scroll thing. I don't know if this is tested or not, but apparently you're basically going to want to use the points if this ends up being true, because it's just the only spot is maybe Proddy Cave, I guess. It's the only place where it'd be worse.
Okay.
So if you're grinding the poppies, I guess, and Proddy, if they bring that event back, I don't know. In theory.
Wait, what's the argument?
So based on these guys' numbers, unless I'm misunderstanding, is this guy did like a breakdown of the theoretical amount of trash that you'd get in an hour and mobs killed and how much they value everything. Basically, there's only like 2 places. Polyforest would be like 1% worse than using an actual loot scroll. Proddy Cave would be 15% worse, and then everywhere else is at least 7% better ish. Like Centaurs is like
How is he figuring that out? He's counting how many mobs per hour he's killing?
I guess, yeah, it shows like the amount of mobs you can kill per hour at like an absolute perfect clip. So I don't know. It's in theory. This guy broke it down.
Cool.
But he's telling me that he's misinforms everyone all the time, so not to believe what he says. So we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Dude, the Node Wars things has me so excited. Like, does it not sound fun to attack Cho Nation on one fort and then they go to defend it and then you run to the other side instead? I hope
It
that's
sounds really good if there's actually split objectives and it's not like 100 people on one screen. I mean, that's something I think they've needed to do for a long time. Like one of the reasons I've been begging for, like Arathi Basin style battlegrounds is to have like multiple objectives that people can small scale over rather than just like 40 people dogpiling an RBF. So if Node Wars have a chance to become like more objective based and more tactical, rather than just a giant ball of people, I think that'll also allow a lot more people to play who don't necessarily have, like 5K PCs, et cetera, et cetera. So there's definitely a lot of good that could come from it. I think I'm just still jaded from the T1 thing, to be honest.
I think you are too. Imagine if the highest paying Node Wars are in Valencia, and so they have to decide between being in the desert or being in that mountainous area, like all the high-end guilds, to get like the best payouts and stuff. And all that terrible, terrible terrain they have to suffer. There's going to be some interesting twists in this whole thing. But I think the idea of being a strong guild and having multiple forts that you have to defend all at the same time, while you have multiple guilds trying to attack you at the same time, is going to be a unique and interesting challenge for both sides. I think it's a wonderful stab at trying to balance a complicated and often bloated system. We'll see.
Yeah.
Cal?
I believe in you, PA. You can do
Shall
you can do this. Let us down.
Shall we move on
Video-
to
We have their best devs. Also, I found out that the guy who does localization works for Blizzard, and that's why we always have to wait until Blizzard gets a content update before we do.
Ah, makes sense.
Right.
Shall we move on to some other games here for a little bit?
Yeah, we got some big news.
What do you got?
No?
Last Oasis wipe is in less than 24 hours.
Does that mean it's going live or what?
Well, it's been live, but they're wiping the fucking servers. Fresh start.
Yeah, okay, so you want to start with this? What's our plan? Because Moreland and I are going in on this. We're going to wake up early, and we're going to fucking game.
Yes, I'm going to wake up the earliest I've ever woken up in my life for non-catching flight reasons, and I'm going to play this game. I had a lot of fun with it last time around, not even playing it on a fresh wipe. So I think this is going to be one of those games. Like they've made a lot of changes over the past few months, some good, some bad. I don't know how much long-term appeal it's going to have, but for a fresh wipe, this has got to be one of the best opportunities to like get in fresh on a game. I can't imagine something being more fun than like a new Last Oasis server where everyone has to start from scratch and do that race and get their shit together. It just sounds so much fun.
Do we have a community or a guild that we're playing with? Do we have any gamers coming with us?
There's a fuck ton of people that are playing. I don't know how to rally them all together, but yeah, I mean, there's like 10 different groups of people, different guilds and shit that I know that are all playing in various places. So I'm not sure how that's going to work.
That would be a good thing to do in the next couple hours here.
Try to rope all the BDO community into one area.
Put it in my Discord. I don't give a shit.
I'm so out of the loop on Last Oasis. I completely forgot about this game, but I've wanted to play it. Does this mean there's not going to be another wipe in the future? Like if I start my progress?
No, there probably will be, but it took them like almost a year to do the first wipe. So probably the next wipe will be when the game is dead anyways, and you wouldn't be playing it regardless. So I don't know. That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Do you think China? Do you think China's gonna come back?
Of course they are, dude. Yeah,
holy fuck, dude!
Wait, so are the wipe not
gonna come back?
That's just part of the game. They do wipes, it's like seasonal kind of thing.
No, it's in early access. So the game is pretty far from complete. Although for an early access game, it runs extremely well. Like you should see the net code with these giant walkers with 30 fucking people on board, like firing ballistas and shit at each other. It's crazy how like little desync there is, with all these huge vehicles running around smashing into each other. But yeah, so like from a technical standpoint, the game runs really well, but I think there's still a lot of content and balancing stuff that they're working on, and so that's why they're doing a wipe, because it's like they've made so many changes that it's time just to sort of start everyone fresh and get all the old people who quit to come back and see what's new.
So if we're not doing um like a guild like you were in before, and we're just gonna like pull some homies together, I'm gonna ping my Discord to go to your Discord and have like your moderators or whatever have a last like you do with Among Us, and so we can all at least be congregated in one place. We'll just do it in your Discord.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to see where everyone is, because I know like Pay has a group and Daba has a group, and I'm sure like the Barcode guys have a group and the Vertex guys might have a group. So I don't know. I'm sure everyone's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah, let's do our best to try to at least be on the same server, work together, at least like kill the China players, right?
At least.
At least.
The graphics look nice on this game.
It's okay. The combat's fucking great. Like the survival mechanics and all that kind of stuff, and the farming and building up walkers and all that shit. Like when the original Nerds of Words crew played it together, it was pretty fun. And then we lost Potion Shop for like a month. Like he didn't stream for a month because he was just playing Last Oasis. So this is a terrible time for his computer to be broken, because that man could pump out some weird shit real fast. But it's a fun game if you can understand the combat of it and the 1vx potential, or the 2vx or 3vx potential of it is super high. And so I got a little bit of practice, and I'm really excited just to run in on people. And I've got this microphone that pulls out of my headset right here that I leave right like inside my mouth. And so when I talk shit to people, there's like proximity microphones, and so I could just scream at people, and it's really distorted and extremely toxic. And it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, so that's how Tim plays the game.
Is there another way to play it? What do you say? Good fight? Does anybody say good fight in that game?
I might do a little RPing this time around. Maybe try out an accent.
Potion has a good one from the last time I was on that you could probably
Yeah,
use.
I could try Potion's accent.
You have an example ready for us, maybe? Rough draft?
No.
Moreland hates fun.
Have you guys tried Assassin's Creed Valhalla or whatever it's called? Valhalla, the new one.
Never.
People seem to love that game. Everyone's like pretty.
Okay.
I played the first three. I know Assassin's Creed's changed since those original ones, but they were so fucking terrible that I'll never try another one again.
Apparently, this one's different.
Yeah, they say that about World of Warcraft expansions too.
That's in 2 days, right? Are you guys playing Warcraft? I believe it's the 25th.
Yeah, wait. Last Oasis is doing a wipe 2 days before Shadowlands. That's not a good strategy.
Yeah, it is.
You think so? You think they're doing it on purpose?
You think anyone's really going to play that game longer than a week that isn't currently playing it?
I don't know, man. Shadowlands, it's like an abusive partner. People always go back to that game, regardless of if the quality's there.
You think World of Warcraft, people that are going back for their 20th hit of that crack, are really interested in Last Oasis? Or maybe the people who are losing their friends to play the game that they're currently playing with are going, fuck, what am I going to play when these idiots go play World of Warcraft?
Mean, they're going to get that crowd of person who just doesn't have a game and just bounces around to everything because there's nothing else to play, right? Like, that's kind of...
Is that us?
What it feels like I'm becoming.
Yeah, my chat's right. Last Oasis is about being toxic, dude. It's not about RPing with cringy I'm nice about being toxic at least. So
My friend,
are you gonna play WoW, Frosty?
no, God no, no. I can't do tab target anymore.
Whatever.
I don't know. I always hope that WoW will come around and come up with a new version with some new combat, but I don't like I don't like tab target, and I also don't like the whole like holding a button down to make your screen move. I like the opposite way where you have to press control or alt. I know that's so like nitpicky, but my finger gets tired, you know? I'm old now.
I watched a video from one of the OG WoW devs who left after 13 years. And you could tell he was being kind of like political and measured and didn't want to say everything he was actually thinking. But the gist of it was kind of him saying that like he doesn't think that there's any vision or direction left in the game and that it probably will never be good again. That's kind of what I was getting out of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at one point he said something like, "I want to be part of the next big virtual world, and Blizzard's not going to be the company that makes it."
Yeah, I think they fucked up without. They were coming up with like a WoW 2 or they're naming it something else and they just killed it, right? I think so many people would have jumped on that, but it could have been, you know, maybe WoW 2 is EverQuest 2. Just terrible.
Yeah, that's the thing. All good MMOs are made by accident.
True.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know enough
WoW.
about MMOs to really comment on that.
My friend was telling me about some game that I can't remember the name of, and I wish I could. It's like a side scroller game, but he said that it was like Bomberman. Do you guys remember Bomberman from back in the day?
Dude, it was one of my favorite N64 games.
We need a new, like a modern Bomberman. It would be so fun. That game was so much fun.
That's like the Beat Man platformers. All the platformers these days that are popular are like Bushi and like these really insane pull your hair out super hard, because that is what Super Mario and Bomberman and all these old school games were. Is they were really really fucking hard. Castlevania on, you know, Super Nintendo. Like if you really pull back through, you know, if you're 30, 33, you know, our age, the games that you grew up on, you forgot how terribly difficult those games were, unless you're watching, you know, a streamer go back and play it or whatever the case is, or you've got the system or emulator yourself. And so I think the only thing that really grabs people for a platformer is pain. And I don't like that. So I've never really appreciated platformers. Even though that's all that was like, I played F-Zero when all my friends were playing Super Mario World. You know what I mean?
I love F-Zero, dude. I love that game.
I was into a different kind of competitiveness, that I really feel that, I don't know. The platformer thing just never did it for me. And so as everything in our life, in our nation, in our country, in our livelihood, and the world gets smaller, turns into this kind of hyper focused, everything you do is to the nth degree. Platformers just keep getting worse and worse for me.
I you know those little mini consoles that
Yeah.
they sold, like the Space NES. I got one of those. My girlfriend like loves those regular Nintendo games.
Mhm.
But I got the Super Nintendo one, and I was playing. Like I have such fond memories of Donkey Kong Country, and that game possible, dude. It is so hard. I have no idea how I like played that game when I was like hard.
In that shit.
Yeah, you
That
think
game.
Dark Souls is hard, man.
I used to love Donkey Kong Country 2. The Diddy Kong one?
Yeah.
Really
Oh,
hard. It's a
dude.
really hard game.
The soundtrack is fucking timeless too. Like when you hear the music from that game.
If you really want to pull your hair out, try playing Yoshi's Island, because every time that you do something bad, you get the stressful, like especially as a father, every time you get hit in that game, you hear a baby constantly crying, and the game is insanely difficult. And so anytime you're like in danger, you just hear and you're like, oh my god. It's just like this amazing stressful thing. So don't, you know.
I have a question for you guys about Yoshi.
Oh boy.
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, speaking of sound effects, do you remember Donkey Kong when you die? Ow. Ow. No.
Pretty good.
What's your Yoshi
What's
question?
your question about Yoshi, dude? I'm worried about
Uh,
this.
do you guys think Yoshi is pro-choice?
I don't. I still can't figure out if Yoshi has arms or not. So if he doesn't have arms, I don't think so.
Just based on everything that happens with eggs in those games, I don't know.
Obviously not.
Does he have arms? I feel like he has arms in pictures, but then in the games he doesn't actually have arms.
If you've played Super Mario World, it's fairly obvious that Yoshi is Catholic or a massive slut.
Usually goes hand in hand.
Oh man, I'm supposed to be the toxic one. What are you doing? What are you doing right
What?
now? You made that real world, dude.
Dude, those private school kids, holy shit.
I'm a private school kid.
Oh, well, see? Case in point.
We didn't have sex.
Who? You and me?
Yeah. You were all sprawled out on a bed and everything, and I did not. I was a perfect gentleman. Twice.
Well, this just got weird.
Yeah.
We'll edit that part out.
I'm looking up if Yoshi has arms in game.
Of course, Yoshi has arms.
Doesn't he have little dino arms?
Well, he does in like every
When he's
picture, but
when he's like squealing to like jump a little harder, he's like, you know, and he's kicking his little forearms.
How does it go?
I was watching a
It's not bad.
streamer. It was one of those streamers that was like, if you don't have $5, you shouldn't be watching Twitch, but like the original one. And
Sorry, I have something in my eye and it is driving me crazy. I'll be right back.
it was your finger. And she did Yoshi impersonations. And it ruined Yoshi for me altogether. I named my first dog Yoshi. And I watched this broad say Yoshi over and over again. And I can't unhear it.
dude,
I literally told my therapist about it.
I'm gonna put this in chat for you guys.
What are you looking up? What are you doing?
Am I crazy here? Like, here's Yoshi. That's how they want you to think Yoshi is. But here he is in actual game. He ain't got no arms, dude. He's got a little belt buckle, and that's it, dude.
Like doing this whole conspiracy thing, huh?
Where's his arm? Where are his arms, dude? Also, you know, Yoshi was a good driver in Mario Kart, though. Everyone picked Yoshi in Mario Kart.
He was. Yeah, he was a good option.
Dude, what a strange concept in Mario. Like, you are a plumber that rides a dinosaur around killing turtles and mushrooms and stuff.
And eating the mushrooms and getting superpowers.
It's such a wild concept, actually. Hard game.
I kind of want to play Mario on mushrooms now and see if I can find whatever frequency the developers must have been on when they came up with that shit.
I found video proof that Yoshi did not have arms in Super Mario Brothers, but for some reason every other game he does.
When was Yoshi first seen?
I think it was Super Mario Brothers, wasn't it?
No, Super Mario World.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Can you save playing Mario on mushrooms for the first time I do mushrooms, so we can do that together and make some YouTube content out of it?
We can go to Oregon and it's legal now, right? Or, well, no, I guess it's just... It is decriminalized enough for us to be able to stream on Twitch, or does it have to be fully legalized?
I think we should do it on a YouTube video.
Oh, yeah, YouTube doesn't care.
Yeah. Problem solved.
So, I got to the bottom of this. Super Mario World is when Yoshi was first introduced, but the strange thing is on the cover picture, he has arms, but in the game he doesn't. It's so weird.
We gotta have you on this podcast way more often.
Do you remember the movie? They made him a weird dinosaur from Jurassic Park.
I do remember that.
That movie was something else.
It's so creepy. He's like not actually a cute dinosaur. He's just scary.
Do you remember the live action show?
No.
It was like pretty overtly racist against Italians.
It was
Oh yeah,
alive.
that's what I was thinking of.
It was like a knockoff Danny DeVito, like a C
Oh,
minus Danny DeVito, and they're all talking about like Italian like tropes and stuff, and then it just turns into like a really bad Mario cartoon. I used to love that shit. I used to watch that and then like Mega Man at 6 in the morning before school.
damn. The old Sonic TV shows were good too.
Remember those Mega Man games, man? That was the shit.
Yeah, those were fun.
Those were my kind of platformer. Mega Man X, X2, X3. Fuck your
If you
sevens and threes.
If you were a Super Nintendo guy, which I assume you were if you were playing F-Zero,
Yeah.
do you remember Mega Man Soccer?
I don't.
Dude, Mega Man Soccer was so fun. It was literally just like this 2D soccer game from the side. And depending on the character you picked, you had a special that you could use on cooldown that would turn the ball into some like if you were Mega Man, it turned it into a laser beam. So it would just shoot through the goalie and you'd score.
I think it's possible that Yoshi had arms in Super Mario, but they were just being covered up by Mario's feet. I'm looking at it from different angles right now.
So, as much as I like Mega Man, I despise soccer and sports video games. But Mega Man RPG, is that what it was called? I think it was just Mega Man RPG. It was like Mega Man Legends. That's what it was. Mega Man Legends was like a response to Mario RPG. Remember that Super Mario RPG? Yeah, Super Mario RPG. And Mega Man Legends was actually pretty fucking good. It wasn't Super Mario RPG good, but it was still a great RPG that a lot of people fucking missed. I promise that. It was really slow and really deliberate.
This shit looks so funny. Look at Mega Man Soccer.
Yeah.
Your whole team is Mega Man, dude. It would like kill the enemy if you hit them with your like laser beam as you kicked. You could be the trash guy and turn the goalie into a trash, like a pile of trash.
Oh my god, they tried to do so many spin-offs with Mega Man. All the Tron things. Oh my god, how cringe. Yeah, but F-Zero, dude. I'd play F-Zero and Tekken. I'd beat the only game my sister would ever play with me growing up. She was 7 years old. It still is 7 years older than me. She'd play Tekken with me. So I'd play Tekken on a PlayStation 1, then just play Mega Man, everything else.
Did you try the Super Nintendo version of Star Fox?
No, my first Star Fox was Star Fox 64.
Okay.
Barrel roll!
Yeah, Star Fox 64 was all-time great as well. But the interesting thing about Star Fox for Super Nintendo is that they tried to do it tried to be 3D. So it was this weird, like it looks, I don't know, like how those old virtual reality headset games kind of looked, like just really bad.
Oh, I did play that. Yeah, no, I did. Absolutely. Also, do you remember the VR? The like, what was that? The Nintendo VR thing?
Where everything was red lines?
Everything was red lines, yeah. And it was like a tennis game and Star Fox. And so, oh, dude. I rented that from Blockbuster.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think I ever got to play it. I only saw it in like demo stores where I would look at it and it would be in the Nintendo section generally.
That was weirdly ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's wrap up this episode. Thank you guys very much. Frosty, thanks for coming in, man. I'd love to have you more often. I don't know how painful it is to go through all the patch notes of BDO twice in 2 days. But regardless, I appreciate your participation. Moreland, thanks for showing up again, too. So that was, was episode 26. If you guys have want to take a quick second to plug what you got going on your channels this week, please go ahead and do so. Starting with you, Frosty.
Twitch.tv/SoFrosty. I am contemplating on rolling Ninja every second of every day if I should do it. That urge is always there.
You should.
And praying for Awaken Kuno PV buffs. That's it. Just praying.
Moreland, what are you up to this week, bud?
We're gonna be doing the last Oasis wipe in the morning, and then I'm probably just gonna be playing a bunch of that. Honestly, so depending on how it goes with the server stability and everything else, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna have that fresh feeling for a little bit.
I think I'm going to join you on that. I think I'm going to take a little break from BDO and just stream a shitload of Last Oasis as long as tomorrow morning's fun. We'll just roll out with that. If not, then I'll keep going for Pen next. And I've got a couple more YouTube videos for BDO that I'm going to continue to make. I forget how much I sincerely enjoy YouTube. There's like a whole sub-community of people on YouTube that make comments on your videos and then delete them immediately. So you just get the notification of their comments and you can't reply to them. Anyway, there's like this whole subculture I've been having a lot of fun with on YouTube. But thank you guys. Moreland, Frosty, we will be back next week. I think Potion Shop wants us to change the time, so we may be changing this to a Friday or Monday podcast. We'll find out here soon, so stay tuned to each one of our Twitches. But for now, it has been and could still be Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Regardless, listen on Spotify. Have an excellent week, and we'll catch you next time.